Yo, yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another Flesh and Blood stream. Tonight, we are going to be recapping Columbus. I'm going to tell you all about my weekend in story time. We are going to go over RTN Week 3 data. We are going to talk about Florian hitting Living Legend and what that means for the new meta and how we can take this data and how we can use it moving forward over the next couple of weeks and what we can expect to see from a natural meta shift. So anyway, we got a lot to cover. We got a lot of things to go over. The first thing I want to talk about before we go anywhere is this fancy new shirt that I received from my boy Kevin Murphy. If you guys don't know what the Table Pit is, they are a YouTube channel. They do a live call-in show every Thursday night, or maybe it's Monday night. I think they do it on Thursday. They say used to, where they do like a live call-in show. And they answer questions and they take viewers thing questions and stuff like that. And so they hooked me up with one of their Hawaiian shirts. Big shout out to my boy Kevin for hooking me up with the shirt. I'm a big fan. So yeah. Anyway, we got a lot that we're going to go over tonight. It's going to be a lot of fun. Bringe, Mekado, Dave, Steve, Rose, Bing, One Shot, Damien, top 8 Damien in the chat. Hello, Drew, Tony, Cree, Steph, Jeff, Curtis, and Chang. I think I hit everybody. If not, I apologize. Thanks for being here. Thanks for hanging out. Appreciate you guys for coming by. We got a lot of stuff we're going to cover. We got a lot of stuff we're going to cover tonight. If you guys did not hear before we get through the whole thing, I finished 24th at Calling Columbus playing Victor, which was pretty cool. 24th was a little bit worse than I wanted to do, but I think I have set a reasonable goal for myself. And this is something that we didn't have on the sheet at the beginning of the year, but I did set a reasonable goal this past weekend where I was like, you know what? If I finish in the cash at, the event, I'm not going to be disappointed with myself. And so I think that's one of the bars I'm going to hold myself to. I think that's one of the bars I'm going to hold myself to as we keep moving through 2026 and keep doing things. I think that's where we're at. Your code, Christian, Hater, Pseudo. What's up, guys? Pleiades on some Queen type shit? Yo, for real, though, dog. Damien making Pleiades looking really good. As much as we love our boy Damien, let's not leave out our boy Thomas. Florida local, hangs out in the Card Guys Discord all the time. Thomas also making top 8 on Pleiades was awesome to see. Love that both of them made top 8. It was super cool to see. And then Florian winning the calling, but we're going to talk about all this in just a little bit. Yo, what's up, PM? Vincent Main, the skill expression and learning takes some time. Yo, facts. Oh, Uno, what's up, dude? Jay, what's up, buddy? Yeah, 2 Pleiades on the same 80. I know it's crazy, right? Ian, Electrum, what's up, guys? Anyway, yeah, it was a fun weekend. I'm going to tell you guys right now, we're going to start with story time. I feel like Majin Bay has really coined story time and everybody really likes story time. So thank you to Majin for putting in the work. Also, congrats to Majin for making top 4 of the calling this weekend. So yeah, thanks for him for paving the way for story time that we get to hang out and talk about it and enjoy it. So we are we're gonna start with story time. Story time starts on Friday. Friday for me is a drive into Columbus, followed by hanging out playing some board games with my brother and sister-in-law, Kevin and Melanie. Shout out to them for letting me stay with them and hanging out with them this weekend. And then followed by dinner at a restaurant called Agni. And I gotta tell you, I was skeptical. Taylor picked the restaurant before we got there. I was skeptical. I was worried. You know, like it was a set menu before we walked through the door. Never again will I doubt Taylor. Dinner was very expensive. Dinner was very expensive. I think I spent over $200 on dinner, but it was phenomenal. If you are in the Columbus area and you are looking for a fancy, nice dinner, something to have, you need to go there. It was phenomenal. It was so good. I cannot stress enough how much I enjoyed that restaurant. And so anyway, it was great. We had a good time. Taylor picked a great restaurant, hung out with the boys, 6 of us grabbed dinner. It was a blast. We made multiple jokes on Friday night that if none of us day two'd the calling, it was worth it just to go to this restaurant, and I still stand by that to this day. Yeah, set menus. I have a new opinion on set menus. What board games did we play? Oh, it was like Civilization. I can't remember what it was called. It was like Civilization, but they had the ultimate version of it. And like the idea is that like you're drawing cards and trying to like get achievements throughout the game. I'd have to look it up. I cannot remember what it was called, but it was a lot of fun. It was a really cool game. It was a really cool game. What's up, Dylan? It was not Catan. It was not Catan. You can always coin a more personalized name for your story times. I mean, it's true. I don't know. Like, I hope Majin has never taken it in a negative way that, you know, like I just call it story time because like I you know, like all the credit goes to him. Majin coined story time. Like Majin made story time what it is. And like, I don't know, like I don't want to reinvent the wheel. I don't want to make him mad, but I also don't want to reinvent the wheel, you know? Like story time works and I enjoy it. So I've never heard of Ascension, no. Never played Scythe either. No, it wasn't Seven Wonders. I cannot remember what it was called. Breakpoint Breakdown. Oh, don't worry. We're recording tonight for Wednesday's episode. It's going to be a banger. I'm very excited to talk about this weekend in the new meta with the guys. So anyway, phenomenal meal Friday night. Hung out, had a great time. Tried to get a good night's sleep. Saturday, day one of the calling. I was playing Victor, as you guys know. We're going to talk about my deck list here for just a second. If you have looked at my deck list, and by the way, when I say public deck list, that is the only deck list that I update. My public deck list is my deck list. So my public deck list is a little bit different than what we were playing on Thursday, and I'm gonna explain to you why. So last week before I went to the calling, you guys know we spent a lot of time working on the Verdance matchup. And I spent a lot of time going, can I beat this matchup with enough tech? Like, can we, like, you know, if we're on Poison the Wells, if we're on Compliance, like, you know, whatever it is that we're trying to do, can we win this matchup? And we ultimately landed on that if they are a very good Verdance player, I do not know that there is enough tech for Victor to... Civilization. That's the name of the game. Thank you. Carly, my love, coming in clutch. It is called Civilization. I'm pretty sure that's what it was called. Now I'm questioning that. Hang on. You know what? I'm just going to look at my other monitor. Hang on. This is going to drive me crazy. Crazy. Board game. Let's see. I'll know what the box looks like. I have to look up the Ultimate Edition. No, this wasn't it. This was not it. It was not Civilization. Let's see. Board game with cards. Let's see. Board game 1 through 12 cards. Win with achievements. We'll see what pops up here. Oh, here it is. This is it. Hang on. This is it. There's a picture of it on Board Game Geek. I'm looking at it right here. I think this is it. I think I found the game. Innovation? I don't think that was it. Hang on. I just found the picture of it, but it won't tell me what it is. Hang on. Now I got to open it and see if this is it or not. This is talking about how you claim achievements in the game right now. I'm having a stroke. I really wish they'd just say what this game is. Innovation. Innovation is the name of the game. Sorry, I know we just like went off on like a side tangent here, but it is called Innovation is the name of the game. Innovation. My bad, guys. My bad. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody. Also, Michael, Catan, what's up, guys? Appreciate Kasu, what's up? Appreciate you guys for being here. Anyway, all right, so let's keep going. Talking about my list, we spent a lot of time testing into Verdance last week to see how much tech it took. Can we do it without screwing up the rest of our matchups? And ultimately, we landed at no. That, like, it is just not really that feasible to beat Verdance with Victor. It doesn't matter if we were on Warhorns, Poison the Wells, whatever. Even Thursday night after the stream, I tested for like 2 more hours and just could not cross the finish line. So I was at a very, like, I was very defeated. I was not feeling great on Thursday night. I was honestly pretty down about the matchup and going into the weekend. And so I sent, I reached out to Taylor and Sam and I was like, hey, you know, guys, I need some advice. I was like, I'm really struggling with these matchups. What do you think I should do? And Taylor was like, I'm going to give you some advice that was given to me a long time ago. Don't tech for the 10% matchups. And like, obviously, like that's like a more like broad term than like whatever, based off percentage points. But, and so he was like, fix your other matchups and let the 10%ers be 10%ers. And I was like, you know what? I've never been on a team. I'm on a team. You're on a team to take these people's advice, be with them, learn from them. And so we ended up going back to Staunch Response. We ended up putting 2 Erase Face in the deck. And we just made other matchups better. The idea behind Staunch Response was to help into like KO, like Brutes, Guardians, any like Go Tall meta, any like meta decks like that. We were looking for Staunch Response value. And then against there was a lot of decks we wanted to Erase Face against. Erase Face is really good into Acilio. It is really good into Florian. It has like play into Verdant, Syndra, Fang. There's a lot of decks that Erase Face has play into. And then I also added 2 copies of Amulet of Echoes to help with Acilio. And I only played 1 Acilio all weekend, but they were everywhere this past weekend. I did leave in No Room Boots, No Room Gloves, and Skullcap as AB pieces, which helped in the Acilio matchup. So, yeah, that was the idea. That was the changes that I was thinking about and that I wanted to make after getting Taylor and Sam's advice. And we took that and we ran with it. So we've made these changes and I'm going into the event going, I just hope I don't play Gravy and I hope I don't play Verdance. And that's the objective. That is the goal. That's what we're aiming for. So that was what we were going for. Hey, what's up, Annabelle? Oh, thank you, Steph. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. No one should play Catan in 26. I like Catan. I don't know. I honestly, Rose, it was good changes for the weekend. So round 1 of the calling, I paired into Jacob, who is playing Prism. Prism is a matchup that I think is favored for Guardian. You have to be a very good Prism player to play around it, in my opinion. This was my opponent's first calling. They did tell me that when they sat down. I won this game. I ended the game at 17. I think my opponent was a little new to the matchup, and I don't mean that with any disrespect. I just mean like they never really tried to loop me or set up anything. I did mill a Arclight Sentinel with a Miller's Grindstone, which was really nice. And then I think another one had to be killed with a another one was discarded, or one was discarded to test of Iron Grip, and I milled one with Miller's Grindstone, I'm pretty sure. So that worked out really well for me. Getting those 2 Arclight Sentinels out of the deck was a huge pickup early on in the game. But my opponent never really got into a situation where they were attempting to loop me. So I was at 17 when the game ended. I sat on my Midas Touch for a solid 15 turns, like most of the game. I parked it in Arsenal and I waited for them to try to loop me. And then when they had no allies left, I used Midas Touch to kill an ally. And then I killed like their last aura in play. And then from there, it was just fatigue after that, just popping and running them out of cards. So we started off 1-0 playing against Prism. Round 2, I played against my boy Zach, who was playing Fang, and he is actually on Team Righteous Gaming. Him and I had played at draft at US Nationals last year, so we were kind of talking and chatting. Zach was playing Fang. I do feel like this is an unfavored matchup for us, and I put that I was 45% into this matchup. I was at 21 when the game ended. And I am not saying this in any way like as a bad thing towards Zach. I think Zach did what he could with what he had, but it was turn 6. It was easily turn 6, and Zach had 0 fealty in play. There was, I think he made 3 fealty tokens in the entire first like 6 or 7 turns of the game. And I know 6, 7. I'm not even doing it on purpose now. Like on like the second turn of the game or third turn of the game, I think he made a fealty token. I threw something that required him to block with 2 cards. I then on his turn, he pitched a card to attack me, and I gripped the only card out of his hand. So he was not able to keep his fealty around. That got rid of one of them, and then I bravadoed the other 2. So I was just in a very good position. Zach's straws were incredibly awkward. They were incredibly bad. We were laughing about his pitch stack because he actually pitch stacked Fire and Brimstone with double Rake over the coals for second cycle. That was his first pitch stack hand. So if he had actually gotten around to all of them, it would have been crazy. But thankfully, like I drew Goldbane Estates and won some clashes, and like I was just able to get super aggressive early. And so I was at 21 when the game ended, which felt really good. We were at 2-0 to start the day after beating a Prism and beating Fang. Trying to flip over in my journal here. The pages are not cooperating. Round 3, we played against Matt McInnes, playing Florian. Our game was super grindy, super back and forth. The one thing of note here that I thought was really interesting is that Matt was not playing Channel the Millennium Tree into me. It was a decision that his team had actively made, was to not play Channel the Millennium Tree into me because they knew that victors were playing Skullcap, and instead was on Red Autumn's Touch. Now, Red Autumn's Touch scared me because he flipped it on a clash very early on my hammer, which was really terrifying. But I flipped an 8 and didn't have to worry about it, so that was kind of nice. But seeing that early on did worry me because there were multiple turns that I flipped a 5 or a 6, and I could have easily have lost a clash. But I was able to win the game. I was at 2 life. I used Remembrance, and I think I only played 5 copies of Goldbane Estate. I don't think I ever got to the 6th, but I played copies 4 and 5 in one turn. And so I was able to stack up like, I think it was like 15 Might tokens or something like that. At the end of the game, I won the game by going E-Strike for 22. It was funny because there was a counter on the Barkskin of the Millennium Tree. So it actually would have been correct for me to have thrown E-Strike for 20 because there was a hand where Matt could have lived and still kept a card. It would have required him to have 2 non-attack actions and a defense reaction, and there was only 1 defense reaction left in his deck. So it was pushing 2 extra points and taking that card out of his hand. But if I had drawn a card, I still would have been able to have Arsenal something and set up for the following turn, which would have been really good. Yo, let's go, Martin. Martin with the 15 months of Prime support. Yo, Martin, I appreciate those 15 months, brother. Means a lot. Thank you over on Twitch. Abby, what's up, dude? Only here for a bit, but excited to hear story time. Catching up on 2x speed right now. Dot, I'm glad you're here. Great run this weekend. Yo, thank you, Bush. I appreciate that. Crown of Seeds and Scepter unban win. You keep dreaming, Vel. You keep dreaming, Vel. That's crazy. So anyway, Matt and I played a very close game. Small mistake at the end, but still ended up winning the game. Round 4 is where this gets interesting. So round 4 is where our event kind of takes a little bit of a turn. Round 4, I pair into Damien playing Fatiguades, which if you guys have not heard me say, that is the new term that I'm trying to like get going. I think Fatiguades is the best name. I think it's a perfect name. And I want you to know that we're spelling that fatigue, A-D-E-E-Z. Fatiguades, just like Fatiguades nuts, like 100% Fatiguades. I hope that catches on. I really hope that catches on. Damien ended up winning this game. So in my notes here, I wrote down that I lost 2 clashes in the dark to Righteous Cleansing. Peck Perfect took 5 cards from my deck, and then I wrote Ripple away. The first cycle of the game, Damien did not like hold them. There was no IP penalty. He natty drew into 2 copies of Ripple away when I had Visit Goldmine Estate during first cycle to establish gold. Between that and Damien in the dark ripping Righteous Cleansing off the top off 2 Test of Strengths was pretty bad. I think we were at turn 12, like 10 or 11, before I ever had a golden play. It was actually insane. Now, I will say second cycle, when I was playing like second and third copy of my Goldmine Estates, Damien did a phenomenal job at intellect penalty, like just holding on to the Ripple aways so that he could deny me extra value. So Damien played the game very well. Damien did get me. He was at 9 life. One of the interesting conversations that I was having with Randy, who is also like one of the, he's a Fatigues player. We were talking about how this matchup becomes better for, like, we think that it becomes like very Victor favored if you are playing Sledge in that matchup. Because one of the biggest value pieces that Fatigues gets is that they have Sledge and you have Titan's Fist, and you can't get them low enough to make it matter. So I think that if we are going to like really be worried about this and we're really going to tech for this, we're going to have to find room to be playing both, Sledge and double Remembrance in our deck. So yeah. What's been in the Card Guys Discord for ages? I'm working on an anti-fatigue deck. I feel the meta is heading that way. I mean, I do think we are heading to a fatigue meta. Wait, so you've had a match against the Fatigues? So the deck didn't really like... So I think to a lot of the world stuff, it came out of nowhere, but I have known about this deck for the last like 5 weeks because Damien has been talking about this deck with me since before Christmas and has been trying to get me to play it. And I stand by playing Victor because I like playing Victor, but at the same time, I definitely like, it was a very good deck for the weekend. I do think that Fatigues does lose some value now because the world knows about it. But yeah, it was definitely one of those things that like, I think a lot of people were surprised to see this weekend, but I was expecting it there. And so we were on second copy of Remembrance. What do you propose for the anti-fatigue? I think it depends on your matchup. I think it depends on your matchup. I know that Abby just mentioned, like, Vincent. Vincent is one of the decks that I do think has the ability to absolutely bully this fatigue deck. Vincent is one of the best anti-fatigue decks at a high level, I think, of any deck in the game. So if you are looking for some serious tech, Vincent is a good play. Also, like, there's not really like a bad thing to say about just playing multiple copies of Remembrance in your deck. I know that that's not fun, but it is effective. So that's something to think about. Yeah, I agree, Damien. All right, so anyway, Damien gets us in round 4. Damien played very well, and Damien moves on to 4-0. If you guys saw, Damien ended up top 8 in the calling. Show my boy Damien some love in the chat. Round 5, we played against Michael. I cannot read my own handwriting here. Played against Michael. He was playing Valda. We were both 3-1 at this point, and my notes here say that Op had pummel on blow up tech plating would dominate on turn 2. I think it was actually turn 3. I can't remember. And then I also wrote that Op had dominate 11 of like the 17 turns that we played. Now, I have to say, the first 3 turns of the game, I felt like I was just getting juiced by my Valda opponent. Like, I was just getting juiced. There was nothing I could do. I was forced to give up a lot of equipment early to not have to discard my hand. I did not see any defense reactions early. We also got into a spot where it was turn 2 or turn 3. It was the smelting of the old ones, I think it's what it's called. He told me that he was playing it as an anti-fatigue card or an anti-Pleiades card, which I thought was interesting. And then he proceeded to throw that at me and pummel it. So I lost my tech plating on like turn 3. It was like turn 2 or turn 3. I lost my tech plating and I did a good job of like stabilizing and trying to get the game back close. I ended up getting Michael down to 5 before I got hit with a Macho Grande at the end of the game that I couldn't stop. But it's just super tough. It's a deck that clashes very well. It is like they draw cards every time we make gold, like, or they make surges every time we make gold and draw cards. So I don't know. Like it's a tough matchup. I'm now 0-2 in Devolved at the last 2 events I've been to, and I'm not sure about like, you know, what we need to do to tech, because I was even on 2 copies of Staunch Response and I still lost. And so I'm not really sure what we need to be doing to help fix this matchup. But my opponent, Michael, played very well, played well and drew well, and that's a good success. That's a good recipe for winning games. And the best part about it, and I will say, this is one of the beautiful things about the Flesh and Blood community, is that Michael and I had like so much fun during the game. Even when I was down like 8 to 10 points, which in the Guardian Mirror is a lot, in my opinion, we were laughing and having a good time. Like, I just think we were having a lot of fun, and just like cutting up and laughing and just like, I don't know. Like, my opponent was very like lighthearted, even when the game got like tight and serious and we were having to be focused. So I did really enjoy the game. It was a lot of fun. Don't get me wrong, I hate to lose, but at the end of the day, it's always more about having fun than it is anything. It's a card game at the end of the day. That was round 5. So I'm 3-2. There's 2 more rounds, and I know I have to sweep to make day 2. Round 6 was against my boy Wyatt. He was playing Syndra. Wyatt is a local to Kevin, I believe. Kevin and Wyatt are locals, or maybe they're just buddies. I'm not sure. But I like Wyatt. He's a cool guy. Wyatt and I have like talked and like we've like, you know, tested and like collaborated together for like, you know, events and stuff in the past. Wyatt's super cool guy. I wrote down, I did win this game. He was playing Syndra, and I did go, I think I went second, but I did not mark that down. I'm pretty sure I went second. Revelation lined up well for Disruption, and Blue Aftershock was pretty good. So there were 2 points during the game with Wyatt where I was required to Lizard. My brain just stopped working. There were 2 points during the game against Wyatt where I was required to throw Blue Aftershock at him because that was the best thing my hand can do. Well, that's not great. Anyway, it did actually set up a turn where I was able to have 2 surges and then throw Spinal Crush off of 2 cards, which is great. That was really awesome. I really liked that. That felt really clean. So anyway, I ended up winning this game at 7. Wyatt also had some of the, like, his hands were just so awkward. Like, multiple hands of, like, super awkward things. I sniped a defense reaction out of his arsenal with a CNC. Random things like that lining up. So I ended up winning the game at 7. And we moved on to 4-2 at this point. Let's see. I saw Trent ask a question here. Do you think it could be another Sledge matchup? Like, you just side out Gold Gen for D-Reacts and then just try to hang on and grind out the Valda? Trent, that's possible, actually. That if we're on Sledge and like 5 defense reactions and maybe like we're not on a lot of gold generation, maybe we're in a position where we can try to just like out Guardian them. It'll be tough, but it's possible, I believe, Trent. Lizard. Yo, what's up, Psychotic? Sorry about the smelting of the old ones. Oh, yo, Michael, what's up, dude? I didn't know you were in chat, brother. What's up, man? Sounds like the finals of my RTN. We were cracking up. Yo, Rose, congrats on winning your RTN. I saw that, even though your gold foil was disappointing. I saw that. I did see that. What's up, Hob? Is my list public? Yes. Exclamation point deck will get you my deck list at any time if you're talking to me, if that question was for me. Really good thing you got out of Ohio when you did. It feels like minus 13 here. Dog, I was freezing to death every day I was there. How do you people live like that? It was insane. Like, it was cold here today in Tennessee. I was not happy about it, but I can tell you that after the cold here, like, it was like in the 20s today. And I genuinely, it did not seem that cold to me. I walked outside and I was like, damn, it ain't even that cold. That's wild. That's wild. Is Fatiguities viable if they ban Remembrance on February 2nd? I think so. I mean, I think Remembrance is a better anti-fatigue tool than a fatigue tool for Fatiguities. How dare you? Yo, how dare I? Listen, I'm sure Ohio's a lovely place. I have no doubt. But I gotta tell you, it is cold as shit up there. Y'all are crazy. Whether it's cold here in Alabama, I mean, that's fair. It is cold kind of everywhere. Got some updates to the list, and Sledge probably helps that matchup. Yeah, I could see that. Got a gold full Titan's Fist at my RTN. Yo, congrats on the winning an RTN and the Titan's Fist. I actually, for the first time, I bought a gold foil this weekend, and it was from my boy, my teammate Brendan, hooking me up with the gold foil Titan's Fist at a pretty good price too. So you're due to get 8 to 12 inches of snow on Friday in Memphis. See, that's crazy. I'm actually very excited about calling Memphis. It looks right now, we're going to finish talking about the calling, but it looks like right now I'm going to miss calling San Diego. I cannot get a set of flights that gets me leaving on Monday and has me getting back on Sunday. I get back Monday morning every time I look at a flight, and it's so hard to get back in time because I have to teach classes on Monday. No, Dave, I'm not coming to London. I'm sorry, buddy. So it looks like I'm going to miss San Diego, but I think that means I'm going to be at calling Memphis and I'm going to be at calling Montreal. I think. Don't write the farm on that yet. Kano is broken. They should ban him and Sage. LOL. Okay. All right. So round 7. Let's talk about round 7. You guys might have seen on camera if you watch the calling. Round 7, I actually got to play on camera. Shout out to my boy Ethan for getting me on camera. That was kind of nice to play on winning in on camera. Played against Adam, who is playing OG KO. This was Adam's first calling, he said. And so he seemed pretty nervous to be on camera. Like your first calling, you got a winning in, day 2 of your first calling, and then you get pulled onto camera. Like that can be pretty stressful. So I felt for Adam. If you guys watched the game, it was a very, very close game. The double blood rush turn really scared me. I'm gonna level with you. The double blood rush turn early, really scared me. The Riches of Tropeldani lined up at the perfect time for me because it allowed me to have Riches of Tropeldani for my flexors, and it allowed me to have Balance of Justice on the same turn. So I was able to take an early life lead with some high impact cards. We got lucky on some reclashes, and just winning some clashes like that really lined up well. And then being able to use both pieces of equipment into like a big turn like that really lined up well. The one thing, and I did just see Dave mention it that I wasn't going to talk about, is that my opponent was playing No Fear. And I do think that playing like highly defensive cards against Victor is actually incorrect. My opponent told me that he fat decked into me because he was worried I was going to fatigue him. And it did say after, the game that he felt like that was probably a mistake. So we did chat about that for a minute, but either way, we ended up taking it home, which lined up really nice. 5-2 moving into day 2. Now, moving into day 2, I am pretty convinced. I am pretty convinced that I had to sweep day 2 to make top 8, which I still think was very accurate because there was 2 X3s got into top 8, and one of them was X and 7-0 to start day 1. So it, I thought I needed to sweep, but I was trying not to think about it. One game at a time, one thing at a time. I just, just kind of trying to just play the games as they pop up. Nothing crazy. Okay, so the first round of day 2 was against a buddy Tim that's in the Potato Squad Discord, and he was playing Dorinthia. Well, Dorinthia is a pretty favored matchup for me. As Victor, that's just a favored matchup. So I did win this game. I was able to go second, and I won this game at 12. I just put that the early game lined up really well, and I had like a lack of clashes early. Now, normally, having a lack of clashes early is kind of not great because you need something to fuel the gameplay and get things going. But I was able to like fight off Tim's like onslaught early on. And so then when Tim had some weaker hands, I'm drawing Test of Strengths, I'm drawing Test of Iron Grips, and I'm just like commanding position of the game. I will say there was one thing that I was not ready for that I thought was really cool that Tim did. Tim was playing one copy of Rouse the Ancients, and he was playing one copy of Gore Belching as a way to just have an additional 7 points to throw at me. And he said it's like an anti-fatigue piece. Was really neat. I don't know. I thought it was super neat. I'd never seen that before. I don't know if that's a common thing. And like, I'm just not a Warrior stan, so I don't know about it or anything like that. But it was kind of cool because he was able to throw like a pretty relevant on hit. And then the only reason I was able to like really disrupt it or to like stop it was because of a sink below at that time. And so then he throws a Gore Belching at me, and I'm like, dog. So it was actually pretty scary at the time. Rouse the Ancients, and Gore Belching. I don't know. I thought that was really interesting. I just thought that was super interesting. Yo, Tim's actually hanging out in the chat, dude. Let's go. Honestly, Victor seems so scary in this meta, and hearing the story time is making me want to defect from my lovely aggro and go to the Casino King. I mean, I love playing Victor. Victor's so much fun. It's old Warrior tech? Okay, I did not know that. I did not know that. Yo, Philip, thanks, buddy. I appreciate that. It means a lot. So, okay, so it's not unheard of, but it doesn't sound like it's super common Warrior tech. It was really cool though. Like I thought it was neat. So we win round 1 of day 2, and I am now 6-2 at this point. Round 2 of day 2, aka round 9, I played against David, who is playing Arachne Huntsman. I played against David, who it turns out was friends with my boy Holden. I did not know that. Well, I look up halfway through the match, and me and David are talking, and we're playing, and we're having a good time, and Holden's just standing behind me, and I did not realize that they were like buddies. Like, I think they came to the event together. And so it was really funny to like see, and Holden standing behind me, you know, like, and in like not a bad way, just like jabbering and, you know, talking the whole time like Holden does. But, you know, we ended up having a good time. It was a really fun game. I won this game, but only because I was on double remembrance, and I ended up closing the game out with Golden Suns. I think I had like 3 cards left in my deck when the game was over. It took both of my remembrance to be able to win me that game. I think I played the game a little too defensively. I probably should have taken a little bit more damage, but I was trying to protect the my cards in my deck to make sure that I was playing estates, to make sure that I was able to like really do the whole thing. And so I ended up closing the game out for like a Golden Sun for like, I think the last Golden Sun came in for like, I think the last one actually just came in for 10. I think it was just like the last Golden Sun to be able to close the game out with. So yeah, it was super interesting. David was a really cool opponent, and I ended up winning round 9. So I am now 7-2 at this point. And if you guys were following the pairings, you guys might have seen this. Round 10, what was there? 12 rounds, 7 rounds day 1, 5 rounds day 2. Yeah, round 10, I pair into Justin Koo, playing Gravy Bones. So not only do I pair into one of the only 2 matchups I don't want to see all weekend, that like I'm actively trying to dodge, which to be fair, I played 1 Gravy Bones in like 12 rounds. I am not complaining. I pair into probably the best Gravy Bones player in the world. Like, I think Justin might be one of the best Gravy Bones players in the world. Now, I'm going to tell you 2 things about this game, and if you know anything about fatigue or gravy, you're going to know how accurate this is. Hey, Dodge, what's up, dude? You know how accurate this is. Justin only had 5 cards left in his deck at the end of the game. Justin also had me at 1 life for a few turns and had a Whaler Humperdinck in his graveyard he had not played yet. Even though Justin only had like 5 or 6 cards left in his deck, I was nowhere near fatiguing him. The game was not even remotely swinging my way. Now, I will say there was a turn during the game where I made a crucial mistake. During the game, he activated Hook and threw Conqueror at me. In my brain, I never processed him saying activate Hook. Like, he said it every other turn of the game. He told me he said it. I know he said it. I was in no way frustrated at him or wanted him to I was in no way mad at him or anything. I just made a crucial mistake where my brain just lapsed and I just did not put together that he had activated Hook. And so he attacks for 8 and I have no arsenal. So in my head, I've already pitched Riches of Tropodani to activate Riches or to Flexors. So I'm thinking, okay, give Test of Iron Grip, get his last card, Flexors, and then from here we'll take 2, we'll take a reset, and we'll keep going from there. Well, this had come in for 8 with the Hook. If I had put Balance in front of this as well, I deny him gold on this turn, so he has 0 gold on this turn. My Balance would have ripped me into an E-Strike. I would have been able to go E-Strike, kill an ally, hammer another ally. We are now at a point in the game where there is 1 ally in the graveyard. There is no allies on board, and Justin has no gold pretty late in his deck. Not super late. There was probably 15 or 20 cards left. But I was at a decent enough spot to where, had I made that decision that turn, I might have been able to win the game. I don't know if I could have or not. Justin still had a lot of gas left. There were still multiple good things left, plays he could have made in his deck. But I think there was a chance we could have won that game. And me not blocking with my headpiece might have cost me the game. Now, Justin may have a different take on it. Justin may have never been sweating. I truly don't know. Justin played the game very, very well. But I just, my brain lapsed on the Hook. And I just never processed it. And so, he stole one of my gold and ended up having gold for the rest of the game. I don't know. It was just one of those sad moments where I wish I could have it back, but I can't. Because I'd like to know how the game would have played out. I would like to know how the game would have played out if I would have killed both the allies that turn. Okay. We lose to Justin Koo. We're now 7-3 at this point. I wrote tough matchup. Did my best. Crucial blocking mistake. Because I think that's exactly what happened. Well played by Justin. He played the fatigue matchup very well. Round 11, we actually played against Atlanta local Andrew Lorenz, as I say his last name. He was playing Acilio. Now, I will tell you that for as bad as my mistake was against Justin the round before, God was on my side this game. There is no other way to describe the things that I did to Andrew Lorenz in round 11. We laughed about it afterwards because I don't think there are a lot of decks in the format that beat my draw. It was kind of crazy. In fact, Gravy, and Verdance might be the only 2 heroes that I can't beat with this draw. The first 3 turns of the game was Bell on turn 0 into Swing Hammer, Arsenal something, and pass. My second turn is win a Test of Strength, put a gold into play. Then I play Visit Goldmane Estate, make some mites. I draw into another Visit Goldmane Estate. I throw something at Andrew, and I arsenal my Goldmane Estate. Turn 3 is play Goldmane Estate, set up some mite tokens, draw into another Goldmane Estate to arsenal, and throw some other disruption at him. The turn after this, I'm forced to use my amulet at this point. I go Goldmane Estate, draw into another amulet. So I have now used my amulet to disrupt Justin in the first 4 turns of the game. I am then put into a situation where I Goldmane Estate. By the way, keep in mind, I'm drawing Toigs in the middle. I have drawn 2 Tests of Strengths at this point. I have drawn very hot, won all of my clashes, things lined up into perfect order. I now have a second Amulet of Echoes in play, and I have played all 3 Goldmane Estates, disrupted with at least 1 to 2 Test of Iron Grips, and 1 to 2 Test of Iron Strengths, or Tests of Strengths. And the crazy part is I was still at 8. Andrew still almost killed me. Andrew still almost killed me. Like, it's the interesting part. But yeah, I like just one of those games. Things just lined up and we just did the thing. We just did the thing and we won. And I mean, I don't like, sometimes it's just like that. Like, I hate to sound like that or be that guy, but sometimes that's just how it goes. So anyway, round 12. At round 12, I am well aware that we are no longer playing for top 8, but I am playing for the difference in top 32 and top 16. So we're playing. I sit down across from Noah Bagelman, which is, he's on the Runaways. He's also a buddy of mine. We went to dinner on Friday night with Noah. We sit down and we're talking and kind of cutting up before the game. And I was like, dog, we're about to play a $150 match. And he was like, that's a cool way to look at it. And so we were laughing about that the whole game. Noah Bagelman was playing Florian. He did end up beating me. He was at 8 when the game ended. The funny part is I took exact like lethalies off of Rune Chance, I believe. Or maybe I went to -2 off the Rune Chance, but he still had a felling coming in after that. Like, Noah's pitch stack was absolutely phenomenal. Noah was playing a more aggressive version of Florian into me. Like, he was playing Outeds into me. And I would like to say that when I say this, it is not a criticism. I actually think that as Florian, the more aggressive build of the deck gives you more points into Victor, because if you try to play the like Earth like Guardian game where you're using Rune Chance and a weapon and stuff like that, that just favors me, because I'm just trying to Remembrance Goldmane estate, and the more you're blocking, the more I am able to be playing offense. So that just really lined up for me. I did have a Clash of Bravado snipe a Channel Mount Heroic, which was really nice. So that was kind of cool. But Noah played the game very well, used his Germinates very, very well at the end of the game to be able to just like get a ton of value. He had 20 Rune Chance at the end of the game, and I just died. Noah played well, and I died. I stuck with my game plan, and I wasn't able to stay alive, and that's just how it falls sometimes. Noah's a pretty cool guy. I agree. I mean, yeah, Andrew's a very good player. I like Andrew a lot. So anyway, we finished the event 8-4. I was 24th place. So, we still won $250, which is cool. I was pretty happy about that. As I talked about earlier in the stream, my objective, like the side goal that I gave myself this year that I'm going to try and stick to is, top like cashing events is not disappointing. That is what I'm going to hold myself to. That if I cash an event, whether it's calling, nationals, PT, whatever it is, I am not disappointed with myself. And I know that is, not always the easiest thing to do, but I have proven twice now that I can finish in the top 32 at callings. And so I would like to continue to step forward. I would like to continue to push myself. So the next calling I go to, my like, you accomplished something and did a good job this weekend is top 32. My like push yourself goal is top 16, because that is the next goal that I'm looking to achieve. Obviously, if top 16 comes with top 8, then even better. But that is the objective, and that's kind of like one of the things I'm looking with. I looked up LL. An interesting fact that KO and Verdance and Prism are 200 points away from LL. I mean, yeah, I think KO, Verdance, and Prism are next on the list, right? Yo, thanks, Paul. I appreciate that. Now I want a bagel in the middle of the evening, and I want a bagel death. That's so funny. Everything that I'm reading to you guys comes from what's called the Codex Journal. If you have never checked this out, it's this cool product. It is a great way, and I can show you guys like a paper that I have here. Like this is over here, or no, I'm sorry, over here. You have the ability to keep life pad or keep up with life and everything like that. And then over here, you have all of your notes about the game, who went first, who went second, who was favored, what did you play against. It is a great product. I use it at all events that I go to. I actually just filled up this Codex Journal. This was the last pages on it. So this was like the last pages in this one. I'm going to be using a different one this weekend at my RTN. So yeah, if you're looking for a way to level up your game and take notes, make sure you check that out. ! Codex. And then the other thing that I've told you guys to struggle with in the past is I do have a metafy guide based around Victor. It is 57 wonderful pages long about everything I know about Victor. I am updating matchups, and I am updating the list constantly. So if you like Victor, you're interested in seeing my thoughts and reading things about it, exclamation point metafy will get you a link to that, and you can check that out. So yeah, I'm done. I'm done plugging money and telling you guys about things like that. So that was the weekend. And you know what? Let's talk about my list really quick. We talked about my list a little bit already. But yeah, we're gonna talk about the list. Before I go any further, Cyborg, yes. Hang on, before we talk about the list. For everybody who missed the New Year's Eve stream, I got drunk, played a game of Prism, and said that if we won, I would play Prism at Battle Hard in Atlanta. Well, a week and a half was not enough time to learn everything I needed to learn about playing Prism. So I decided that the next best compromise was to play Prism for an RTN. So we are playing Prism this weekend at an RTN. That is going to be Saturday. I have an RTN in Pikeville, Kentucky. I believe it's where it's at. It's called Appalachia TCG. I will be playing Prism this weekend. I know that's a little different than what I'm normally playing, but I've got it sleeved up. I've got it ready to go. My local buddy, Michael Paul, was nice enough to let me continue to borrow his Prism cards. And so this week we're going to be practicing and playing Prism, and we're going to be doing that this weekend. So yes, I promised we would do it. We will be playing it this weekend. We will be doing it this weekend. So taking a look at our list, we're going to talk about some of the cards that I changed. And I want to talk about, let's see here. We're going to talk about some of the cards that I changed just so you guys can be aware of like changes that I've made to the deck and my thought process and what I'm thinking. So this weekend, I decided that I wanted extra points into the warrior matchup. That adding points into like warrior and assassin was a good place to be. So we decided to add 2 copies of Peck Perfect. Peck Perfect is very beneficial at like helping you dismantle your opponent's deck or pushing damage against warriors and against assassin. If they are taking 9 damage, that is a win for you. You are getting yourself into a winning position where you're closer to like killing them. If they are blocking with multiple cards to protect their life total, they are more than likely losing cards out of their deck, meaning that Peck Perfect is this great versatility tool at allowing you to be able to win on either axis of the game. And so into a warrior and into a assassin meta, Peck Perfect fits the bill perfectly. Sorry, hang on one second. Let me write this down so I don't forget. Talk about updates and things like that. I thank you for your 1 point you put on Gravy Rose. LOL. Appalachian TCG is one of my favorite online tellers. Tell him Ant said hi. I will be sure to let him know. Yo, Simo, what's up, dude? I'm glad you're here. We talked about the addition of Blue Aftershock, and I think that was actually what my short was about today. Blue Aftershock continued to feel amazing this weekend. The blue base will continue to stay the same. I really, really like the blue base this weekend. I did not miss Headbutt. It was just kind of like, fine, it's gone. Everything else lined up really well. I continue to be a right behind you believer. This card is absolutely insane. Stonks, 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 stonks. Our sideboard has changed a little bit. The newest addition to our sideboard is a race face. A race face has a lot of value into some tricky matchups that we are looking to find some extra points into. It's very good against what was Florian before it hit LL. It's very good against Acilio at turning off Volzar. It's very good against Fang at making them use fealty tokens or being able to get rid of their fealty tokens to deny them go again. We have multiple options there. And then we can also just like this helps us in other matchups like against Phi or against Syndra. A race face has a lot of really good utility, and I cannot speak highly enough for how high of an impact a race face had this past weekend at calling Columbus in my deck. Let's see. I'll just do 58. That seems fine. You should consider cutting down to 1 copy, cutting Remembrance down to 1 copy for all the Huntsmen. All right, Dwar, Lord. It is also very good in a Dio. Yes, Dio as well, Michael. You are correct. You are correct. And then the other card that we played this weekend was Amulet of Echoes. Amulet of Echoes is a very, very powerful card against Acilio. Good Acilio players know how to bait it out or how to force your hand when it comes to using Amulet of Echoes. But if you are able to use something like Amulet of Echoes and then follow that up with Boulder Drop, Erase Face, what's the other card that I really like that has Command and Conquer, as good disruption pieces and applying pressure, Amulet of Echoes is a great tool to help you in those situations. One of the biggest Amulet of Echoes fails that I think a lot of people make is they play Amulet of Echoes in a deck that does not pressure the opponent. If you are not pressuring the opponent, you are giving Amulet of Echoes all day to set up. You're giving Acilio all day to set up to be able to play around the bell or bait it out. And as much love as I want to throw my boy Thomas, we actually saw this in the top 8 match against Majin Bay, where he was able to get both bells off the board and then still have a major combo turn to win the game at the end of the game. So you need pressure with Amulet. That is a big piece of what you need with this. This is my updated list. I'm going to continue testing it and working on it. I am going to get an updated piece out on my metafy. I'm just going to put Columbus update at the end. I'll just add another page for my Columbus update. I'll talk about all the changes, all the cards moving forward, how we feel going into RTN week 3, how Florian leaving the meta, like how that affects things. We'll get all of that on the metafy, and then we're going to talk about a lot of that tonight as well. So if you like to read that kind of stuff, you can also read my thoughts there as well. Erase Face does hit Valda because of the surges. I think Test of Iron Grip is one of the strongest cards in the matchup. Into Acilio? Yeah, I agree. Now, everyone calls this bell, but no one speaks about the ears on the bell. Wait, what? Oh, like how it's got like the little like pieces on the side? Yeah, I see what you're talking about, Martin. I'm following now. So that's the list, and that's kind of like what I'm thinking about, about my list, and like I don't know, just like that's the exact 80 I played this weekend. With Florian hitting LL, so one of the things we're going to talk about tonight is we're going to use Fablazing to see what matchups Florian terrorized. What matchups was Florian like having a very high favored win percentage in? And then if those decks rise up, how does that affect the rest of the meta? So we're going to do a meta analysis for the rest of we're gonna look at RTN data and some calling data, but we're also gonna spend some time like analyzing the meta, seeing how Florian leaving impacts the meta in a big way. Mario, you hit Mario with Erase Face. How? Are they no longer daggers or something? Every hero LLing brings Tough Nut closer to the top. Oh, man. Any opinion on running Victor versus Pleiades now that we've seen it in action? Oh, yeah, 100%. So, second copy of Remembrance is very, very impactful. And the other thing I would say is to watch out for their Ripple Aways. Ripple Aways is really, really impactful. And then the other biggest tool that I would give you against Fatigue Pleiades as Victor is do not attack on the turn you play Gold Mana States. So they have their boots that are high impact against us. They make toughness tokens for each resource they pay. And so whenever we play Gold Mana State, we cannot attack them. So even if that means just IPing or holding things, we have to play Gold Mana States, play a Gold Mana State, and then not attack them and pass, so that they can't get value out of those toughness tokens. That is very, very important for us. I guess that's true. They can't discard assassin cards. I can tell you from experience, RKO got better, but is still at a high B tier. Was RKO struggling into Florian? Oh, Florian eats Mario? That makes sense. How long before you play Fatigue? Before I play Fatiguities? I mean, we are having a stream on Thursday with Damien to talk about the Fatiguities deck. By the way, guys, like I'm never trying to run you all off, and I always want you guys here hanging out with me. But Damien at 9 o'clock, I believe it's 9 o'clock Eastern time, is streaming and recapping his weekend. So you guys should check that out. Show my boy Damien some love. Let's talk about some RTN data. Let's talk about some RTN data, and let's try to figure out what that means for you. We turn on Zoom it here before I forget about it. 6-7. 6-7. 56 minutes till Hala reveals? Wait, what? There's a Hala reveal tonight? Interesting. Okay, so taking a look at our RTN data, the number one winner this weekend, Florian, Mr. LL himself. Yo, Shadow Legion, what's up, dude? Florian LL's this weekend. He is the number one winner of the RTNs. As we continue going down our list, we have 11 Acilios and 11 Verdants. We're going to talk in just a minute about Verdant's Verdant's day 2 conversion rate at Calling Columbus. I want you to keep in mind, Verdant's was the third hero on this list, winning 11 RTNs. I want you to keep that in mind as we keep moving forward. We have KO Armed and Dangerous at 10. We have Arachne Marionette at 9. Dio and Gravy Bones both coming in at 8. The thing that stands out the most to me is our undead. I'm not even going to call him my friend. I hate Gravy Bones. We're going to talk about Gravy Bones for a minute. Gravy Bones continues to be like, what is this? The 6th? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, the 7th deck. Continues to be like not at the top of dominating wins for RTN season. I'm pretty sure like week 1, it did pretty well. But like now we're seeing Gravy Bones is falling down into this like 7, 5 to 8th place range. And this is week 2 of it being in that middle of the pack range, I'm pretty sure. So I don't know, like it's kind of interesting to see kind of the fall of Gravy Bones and other decks picking on it. I don't know. It's super interesting to see. My stream is getting moved to tomorrow on the recap. All the boys went to an RTN today on a Monday. Okay, just kidding. Damien's stream is tomorrow. Damien will be streaming and talking about Fatiguities at 9 o'clock Eastern time tomorrow on the Card Guys channel. We love Damien. He's our boy. Y'all should check it out. Damien's a homie. Question, I'm new to Flesh and Blood and don't have any cards yet. Is it worth it to get them? I know they're kind of downhill because of the whole pandemic. I'm just curious. Oh, so Legion, this is a great question. First off, if you're new to Flesh and Blood, welcome to Flesh and Blood. Welcome to the channel. We're super happy to have you. Second off, if you are looking to get into Flesh and Blood, I would suggest you start with an Armory deck. Like an Armory deck is one of the best places to start. That is what I would say. You should pick a hero that you like. Do not pick Aurora. She is Living Legend. Like if that's one of your Armory decks you have, she is Living Legend, so she's not in Classic Constructed. Although a new version of hers coming back like in the summer. Find an Armory deck and start there, Legion. That's what I would suggest. Silver Age is also a good suggestion. Thank you, Death, for that. Silver Age is a really good pick as well. Yo, Himmel, what up, dude? KO would be risky. That's true. With KO would be risky on the verge of LL, and Azalea is LL. Maybe start with Sage. Like Silver Age, to see if that's something, if you really enjoy the game. Because Silver Age is only like $20 for a deck. I just landed. I sent you a response for later. Oh, dude, no worries, brother. I figured you were busy or something, man. I figured you got busy, so I pinged you again just to get it back to the top. But dude, no worries, man. Hope you had fun traveling, brother. Best Armory deck is Ira. I do actually really like the Ira Armory deck, Raph. There is a lot of risk right now, but that's okay. If you got a good local community, they'll help you out, that's for sure. Yeah, I agree. Colby's completely right. The Ira Armory deck is solid out of the box and easy to learn. So anyway, seeing Gravy Bones fall down a little bit makes me happy. Hopefully he continues to fall to the bottom of the ocean. Sorry. Anyway, I'm done now. Syndra coming in with 7 wins. We have Fang and Kasai coming in with 6. Prism with 5 wins. And then we jump down a little bit. We have Dory, Puffin, and Victor, Ayo, Horse Nation, with 2 wins. And then a smattering of 1 wins at Katsu, Ayo, also top A of the calling. Katsu, RKO, Lyeth, my man. Lyeth getting on the board. You love to see it. Marlin, Fatiguides, and Reinar. I'm sure it was Fatiguides. Like, I don't know if other people, if there's a different, I don't know if there's like another version of the deck right now that actually wins games or not. I don't know. Joke's on you. We'd love to be down there. More dead bodies to raise. Mods, Rose. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. Anyway, so the RTN data is very interesting. So we were talking earlier about how there are decks that Florian just kind of picks on, and that there are some decks that I think Florian just has a good matchup into it. Michael highlighted one of them, talking about Mario. Mario has kind of just been at the mercy of Florian for quite a while now. Also, Dio is another deck that I think struggles into Florian. So having this defensive menace out of the format now in Florian means that there is going to be some room for some of these other decks to really rise up to the top and maybe put some aggro decks near the top. You know, if Dio, if Mario start to become these powerhouse decks, we're going to have to look to pivot and try to slow down some of their offense or stop some of their disruption. So maybe with Florian gone, we could see a meta shift. Syndra 2, I don't think, like, was Syndra bad into Florian? Did I miss that? I always liked the Florian matchup as Syndra, personally. Yo, was that really Liam, Dave? Was that actually Liam? That's awesome, dude. I predict more Verdance and more KO. KO is really held back by Florian. KO was really held back by Florian? I'm just kind of surprised to hear that. KO just seems like a deck that would, like, obliterate mid-range decks. Liam, our sole RTN winner on Lyeth this weekend. You'll love to see it. The matchup was bad? Really? KO's decent? Headpiece cooked his Blood Rush? I mean, yeah, but that's 1 Blood Rush. There's 2 more in the deck, right? I'm gonna take your all's word for it, but I don't know. I don't play a lot of KO. I'm just kind of surprised to hear that. I think it just feels like on paper KO would be really good into like another mid-rangey deck. I don't know. Yeah, I'll take your all's word for it. Time for some more horsing around. I mean, I'm gonna be honest, like, if Verdance rises back up, that means Gravy Bones rises back up to check it a little bit, which means that Victor is not in a great position, but I don't know. It was mainly like Barkskin and Purg plus Felling. Okay. Am glad Florian is gone. I think a lot of people are glad Florian is gone. Is it a good time to pick Gravy up? I don't know. Sam was actually talking about how he was not very happy with Gravy this weekend. Sam seemed pretty frustrated with Gravy this weekend. So, I don't know. Sam is partially convinced it's time to put Gravy Bones down. But I do think that Gravy does have some natural position in the meta right now. I think Gravy is good if every event there is one in top 8. Agree, Paul, agree. I frame my Florian. He's on the wall. My wife was very upset with my 7 a.m. candlelit vigil. Foxy, that's hilarious, dog. That is so good. I love that. So anyway, the RTN data is interesting. I continue to believe that RTNs are, that RTNs are you know, like kind of an open meta. It's whatever like your local meta is playing, but metas do shift and things happen. Verdance continues to be in the top 5 every single week of wins. So that is definitely something to pay attention to. If you are a deck that struggles into Verdance, maybe it's not your weekend. I don't know. I don't know what your local meta looks like. I'm playing Prism this weekend because, you know, we talked about playing Prism, so I'm going to play Prism. Problem with Gravy is sometimes in a log event, the hands you draw are just unplayable. I believe that. Won an RTN on Dio yesterday. I think she's a good pick now. Do you think that has anything to do with Florian being gone, or is that just like your thought or did you think that even with Florian in the meta mind? I'm also kind of frustrated with Gravy, but if you're willing to deal with it with the reprints, it's a great time to pick up Gravy. That's fair. I guess that makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. Lord, excuse me. Still tired from traveling, apparently. I'm afraid that Fatigue Riptide can actually come back. As a Victor player, please God, let that deck come back. Lots of people complaining about Mario in the calling stream. Yeah, Colby, I get that. I mean, Mario is a very polarizing deck for a lot of people. It's a very disruptive deck, but I think the deck is like it's just a good meta deck, and it's just, you know, it's just in a good place. But the truth is, and I mean this as respectfully as possible, people are just going to complain. It's just what happens. It's just what happens. Like, I don't know. People just complain to complain. Yeah, I don't know. Fatigue Riptide does not exist as long as Guardian is a thing. I agree, Paul. I agree. Florian matchup for Dio was better without Rootbound. Also better with non-max V-list focus on BIOS update. Interesting. I would have thought that you would have wanted Max V to be able to like just throw Max V like 3 times. Interesting. I'm intrigued by that, by your statement there. I can verify Fatigue Riptide sucks. Get him, Damien. Get him. Oh. I hate how funny is to play. I mean, I do think Mario is a lot of fun to play. I don't own Assassin cards, or I would probably play Mario right now. Mario actually seems like a really good deck in the meta right now. I mean, especially with Florian leaving out. Like, with Florian leaving out, like, Mario is probably the deck that gets the biggest bump from this, right? Disruption, good powerful attacks. I don't know. Is now Mario time? Or Assassin lovers, like, rejoicing? Are Assassin lovers going crazy right now? I don't know, like, my brain is just, like, processing. I don't know. You want to play Mario? I've got a deck to sell you? Oh, I bet you do. I mean, I think Mario's very good. Like, I think Mario's very good. I don't know how Prism is in the meta, but I know I'm swapping to RKO, and I 43-0'd a Prism yesterday. I mean, I honestly don't think Prism's in a very good spot in the meta. I actively am going to an RTN planning to not do well this weekend because I promised you all I would play Prism. I do not think Prism's in a good spot in the meta. Like, I think if you are winning events with Prism right now, you are one of the premier Prism players, or you are getting very lucky. Like, that is like 110% what I believe. But I am playing Prism this weekend because I told you guys I would play Prism. So I'm like just basically tanking my weekend at an RTN to play Prism because I told you guys I would. Yo, I would love for Jarl to get some love in this set. Yo, Copium needs to be good to my boy Jarl. You have to be a really good Prism or dodge all your bad matchups. Yeah, I agree, Rose. Making poppers at instant speed is the biggest hit of dopamine I've had in 2026. Yo, Pockets, thanks, buddy. Prism is not a meta deck, but a skilled Prism player will top any event, I feel like, as a Prism player. I mean, yeah, so the problem with that, Caleb, is that's not me. That ain't me. I will say we are playing Prism tomorrow night. I am streaming Prism tomorrow night to see how it feels. I feel like if Fatigue midrange is a common thing, doesn't Combo Max get some stonks? I mean, high Octane at home is probably not enough, right, Drew? What happened to Trounce? I think Trounce is in a really bad spot in the meta. It is too high a risk for not enough reward, in my opinion. We're better off playing Sink Below in its place. Sink Below is a 4-block, and it is like it's just better against a lot of decks right now. I just don't think Trounce is good enough right now. If we're in a meta where things like Mario and Syndra and like Kasai and Fang are dominating the meta, then we go back to playing Trounce. But right now, we have a lot of decks that Sink Below is just better against. So I like that. Way too many Brutes and Guardians right now? Yeah, I agree. I agree, Brinch. And you know what? I don't give Josh a lot of props about things, but I am going to say that. He said aggro can only play the horse at a high level. Right now in the meta, that's probably close to accurate. Like, I could pilot Syndra at a pretty high level. I would like to learn how to play Mario. I do think the deck is fun, so. Oh, the whole Armory deck's getting revealed? Max Ferocity spoilers in 40 minutes, coping to see Hala's weapon. Interesting. Well, we'll have to, when the spoiler pops up, we'll talk about it. 5 Runeblade heroes have LL'd before a single warrior or brute. You guys coping on Adult Terra or Blaze and Pin? I'm definitely coping on Adult Terra. Adult Terra would be awesome. Sledge and Adult Terra is just like value town. Katsu did top 8 this past weekend. You are correct, Dylan. It did top 8 this past weekend. Speaking of this past weekend, let's talk about the meta. There was 318 players at Calling Columbus, and Arachne Marionette was the most represented deck, which I think is very interesting. This being the most represented deck is very interesting, but also not surprising. At all. Marionette is in a good spot. With Florian leaving, it just got better. You're able to disrupt a lot of the decks and just apply good pressure. Tarantula Toxin and Kiss of Death is a hell of a drug. Just one of those things. So I do think that Arachne Marionette's a very good deck. Gravy Bones coming in. Does red show up better on this? Does that show up better for you guys? Can you all see red better or blue better? Like here. Can you guys see red or blue better on this screen? I'm open to hearing if you all like red or yellow better here on the screen that we're looking at here. Or red or blue, I mean. Red or blue. Yellow would probably not show up very well. So I'll wait and see what you guys say before we move forward here. Both are about the same. Okay. How about a hot pink? I don't even know. There is a hot pink. All right. Everybody's saying red. We're going to stick with red, but there is a hot pink, actually, which I'm a little surprised to see. So we're going to move back to red. Not hot enough? I mean, sorry. All right. Somebody said, oh, yeah, to pink. We'll stick with pink and see what happens. We'll see if this shows up well for you guys. So Florian, the third most represented deck, you're not going to have to worry about that anymore moving forward. That is just out of the question with Florian hitting LL. Acilio being next. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Acilio coming in with 23 copies, I think is also not surprising. Acilio was everywhere this past weekend. Acilio was very, very popular, and a lot of people were just like all in on Acilio. I know that like Brody, Majin, Peter Budensek, Michael Fung, there were a lot of very good people playing Acilio this weekend. Kasai and KO coming in at 18. I feel like everything down to 10 kind of all fits in the same category. 12 Fang, 12 RKO, 13 Dio, 17 Syndra, 18 Armed and Dangerous, 18 Kasai. There was 10 Rhinar in the room this weekend, which is very surprising to me. I'm actually very excited to look and see what the conversion rate was for that deck. I agree. Acilio is bonkers when it pops off. Do you think a triple for 300 is a good deal, or do we suspect it to drop more with the reprint? That's a tough question to answer. We don't know what the pull rates are yet, right? At least if we do, I don't know it. I don't remember seeing what the pull rates are. So I don't know. It's hard to say. I mean, I don't think it's going to go up anymore from where it's at. So I would say that it going down is a better bet, but I don't see it going up anymore, Colby. Moving on, we have 8 Dorinthia, 8 Fatiguides, 8 Victor, 7 Marlin, 6 Vincent, 5 Katsu, 5 Volda. Like from here, it's really just kind of a smattering. And then our entire last category here, 4 Ira, 3 Puffin, 2 Slippy, 2 Huntsman, 2 Levia, 2 Teklovossen. Would really like to know what those people were targeting this weekend, or maybe they're just lovers. 1 Jarl, 1 Max, and 1 Bolton. The Bolton actually made day 2. It was actually Decimator Bolton. It wasn't even like aggro Bolton. They were sitting beside me a couple of rounds, and I watched them play. It was Great Axe Bolton. And I have to say, something caught my ear that the Bolton player said. They said something about they were playing like a Gravy Bones, I think, and they said, man, like I like said something about Victor, like me sitting to their right, and they were like, man, I'd love to play against Victor. And I was just like, would you? Would you? Like, and I don't mean that in a bad way. I just mean like I don't understand how the Great Axe Bolton deck ever beats me. Like you're just like blocking Great Axe and playing Remembrance and Goldbane Estate. And plus, like at that point in the calling, I had the value of knowing they were playing like Great Axe Bolton. So like I would have brought in both Remembrance and just said like, F it, we ball, let's play it out. So I don't know. I was very surprised to hear them say that. I'm not saying they're wrong. Maybe they had some tech I wasn't ready for, but like I was just surprised. Noob, that's terrible advice. How do you feel about the fatigue decks and how every game seems to go to time? Played 3 RTNs with Victor. Once my opponent realized the game was close to unwinnable, they started taking 4 to 5 minute turns. I mean, Jared, if you have people like that, you need to call a judge immediately. Like, I don't mean to be like that. I know people get salty about fatigue decks, but people don't do that to me. Like, I maybe people will start doing it, but that is not something that happens very often. Like, I don't know. Like, I just don't run into those players. And if I did, I would call a judge immediately. I am playing a deck that takes a long time to get through the game. I don't hide from that. If you are playing a fatigue deck, you need to be aware of your pace and you need to play at breakneck speeds most of the game. There will be turns when you should tank, and that's okay. If your opponent is taking more than, like, I don't know, a few seconds to make decisions and do things, like, and when I say a few seconds, I mean, like, there will be a couple of times they'll tank, and you can tell if they're doing it on purpose most of the time. But if my opponent sits there for 60 seconds, I push. I go, I need you to make a play. And if they do something else, they get about 15 more seconds before I'm like, judge immediately. Not playing games. I'm not doing this. If you are salty because I'm playing fatigue and you are just sitting there to draw the game out, you are the worst. And if that's you, I hope you're offended by what I'm saying, because I mean it with every fiber of my being. You are the worst. If you are intentionally trying to take me to draw because you are mad that you are losing to my strategy, then, like, I don't know what to tell you. You need to play single player games and sit at home and make yourself miserable, not the rest of the world. And I stand by that very, like, I promise you, if you think I'm being funny, I'm not. I don't want you to play the game against me. Play the game to win. And if you have a line, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm all about that. See, like, I'm getting myself worked up just thinking about this. I already am. But I will. I will. The courtesy of, like, you know, you sitting there for a minute or two goes away very quick for me, because I'm normally very quick to tell when you're being like that. And if you are, I have none of it. I call a judge. I ask a judge to sit down. Like, so anyway, yeah, sorry. I got a little, man, I got heated there. Just talking, I got a little heated there. I agree with you for the most part, but that's the thing. The average Fab player takes like 1 to 2 minutes in Gravity games. What's the line? I would argue 1 minute when I'm on an aggro deck and you are playing Victor is not long at all. and I would get salty if you call a judge. Why would you get salty? Like, okay, so Dylan, hang on. Before you answer that question, let me reiterate what I'm trying to say. If we play the first 30 minutes of the game and we are taking lines and we are playing and we are doing things and the game is going at a very brisk pace, and then you stop and you go, I've got to tank for a minute, I'll let you sit there for 5 minutes, because we both probably realize we are at a point in the game where it is win or lose based off this turn. And that's okay. That I will never hold against you. But if we get to the end of the game and you have 12 cards left in your deck and you take multiple 2 to 3 minute turns in a row, I'm going to call a judge on you. And if that bothers you, like, I don't know what to tell you, man. Like, I mean, like, Dylan, I love you, brother, but like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, that you should play faster. Like, I don't know. Like, it's kind of weird. I don't know. Because, like, I feel like I'm pretty lenient when it comes to stuff like that. Like, when you take a minute and you're tanking and you're trying to figure out a line because it's like if it's your last chance to really get a ton of value out of a combo Katsu line, tank it out, man. Figure it out. Find the damage. I get that. Like, I've let Kano sit for 10 minutes before because they were figuring it out and doing the math. And it's like, the turn's over. The game's over right here. Figure it out. I understand. But when you do it multiple times and then your turn is Kadachi and then you stop and tank for another 60 seconds, immediately calling a judge. 100%. And if whoever I do that to gets mad, good. I hope it bothers you at night when you're laying in bed. That's how much it bothers me when people do that shit. Hey, my friend, I'm going to take 2 minutes here to think. Yeah. No. I completely get that. That I agree with, Dylan, 100%. Played KO versus Fatigue Victor and KO versus Fatigue Goliath, and we both did games in under 30 minutes. Liam's fast and I'm fast. So to further Dave's point, Damien and I played Fatiguities versus Victor with 2 Remembrance in our deck, and we had 10 minutes left. We had 10 minutes left in our round. Like, and I get it. As the aggro player, you are the person trying to figure the puzzle out, but that's no excuse to take games to a tie. Like, at all, ever. And I think if you're that bitter, I don't think you should be playing card games with other people. I think you should be in therapy trying to figure out who the hell you are and why you're trying to ruin somebody else's day. You're expected to take game actions at a brisk pace to keep the game going. Needing a minute or two is one thing, but repetitively is outrageous. I agree. As a Katsu player, I appreciate the sentiment. Wait, you appreciate what sentiment? Because Lord Fab players take 3 times longer than people in any other card game? Wait, what do you mean Lord Fab players? I'm not sure what you mean by Lord Fab players. All right. I'm done. I'm off my rant now. I'm off my soapbox about fatigue and people going to time. I played my second tournament yesterday and I told my opponents before each match, I apologize in advance, I'm new. Yeah, so like, X, that's a great example. If you sit down and like you tell me you're new, I will not just immediately call a judge. I will be like, hey, I'm going to need you to make a play. Like, we're going to need to play faster. Stuff like that. Hey, Florian, thank you. I appreciate that. Happened to a friend of mine at his first calling when he was live for top 8, didn't call a judge and heard the op later say at least a draw means one less CYB deck in top 8. Yeah, see, I hate stuff like that, dude. It's hard to establish hard and fast rules about what counts as slow play because time is relative, especially during gameplay. Plus, every player and situation is different. Yeah, I agree, Jeff. Because Lord and Emphasis, like Fab players take longer than any other TCG. Oh, gotcha. No. Dude, no, Dylan, this is a good conversation to have. Because I think there's 2 sides of the coin. And someone who has played Oldham, Victor, like trying to block out, but also someone who's played Phi, Aurora. Like, You know, I played Fi against Oldham back in the day trying to beat out fatigue. I played Aurora against Count Your Blessings New trying to beat out fatigue in time and never ran into time issues ever. So like I do believe that like if you are constantly going to time, you should probably be like trying to look at your own gameplay. I think we should just ban Remembrance to make games a bit more quicker. Otherwise, fatigue is fatigue. I do agree. They should ban Remembrance. Michael, a lot of people will tie with you if you're playing fatigue, and it doesn't really happen to me. Again, this is all like just me talking because they don't want to lose to fatigue. I usually give my opponent 1 or 2 minutes and say, hey, I'll need you to take turns faster. And if they don't change, I'll start calling a judge. I think that is the best way to do it, Vistructor. 100% think that's the best way to do it. I did an RTN, which was CYB Yarrow versus CYB New, and we went to time and we played super fast. I think the longest turn can be like 1 minute when I did a funny, stupid play that hurt him. Longest game I have ever been in, and I hate long games. I mean, yeah, something like that makes sense. In my RTN, I played Huntsman. I went to time only once, and my judge did tell my opponent to play faster. Also, he decided to play after time was called with only 2 cards in hand and no deck. I mean, yeah, that's kind of crazy, Diego. I've been playing some Fatigue lately, and I'm still trying to figure out how to feel comfortable encouraging a quicker game. So, Belaine, I do think there's a proper way to do it. The first time it happens, I am like, hey, you know, like this game could go on for a while. You know, I need you to make a play. I try to be as nice as I possibly can about it. I try to like, you know, like push players in that direction, like, you know, doing anything I can to like, you know, make sure that we finish the game in a timely fashion. But I guess like when I say my patience goes away, I'm referring to like the later turns. Like when it's turn 22 and there's 6 cards in your deck and you're taking like a 4-minute turn with 5 minutes on the clock, that is when I'm pushing you. Like you either already had the gas or you didn't. And if you like the best example I would give you is check out Majin Bey's game against Fatigue Pleiades. He played with purpose, he played fast, he was constantly doing things and pitch stacking correctly, and he played the game in a perfect way and he won. Like that is what I would say. Like he knew the role going into the matchup. I do believe if your deck goes to time consistently, you shouldn't expect every player to give you the win in a draw just because you would win if you had 10 more minutes. So I think I understand what you're saying, but like I am of the opinion that if we go to time, and this is going to sound very like a lot of people are not going to like this when I say it, but if we go to time in our game, I'm going to say that if you are playing me and we go to time, there is a 90% chance we went to time because of you, not because of me. And I mean that respectfully. I have played Fatigue so many times at this point and so many different decks that like I don't play slow. And I'm well aware of that. And the time clock is like the clock is something I'm constantly watching. So if you go to time and you think there is a winning play you could make, like if you think there was a world where you could win the game and you don't want to concede, then I guess it is what it is. Like that's fine. There's a winning line you had. I can understand that. If you have 2 cards in your deck and you are just playing the game and going through the motions to force me to go to a draw because you don't want to lose to Fatigue, then I don't know. I think you're awful. That's terrible. Like that is miserable. Like I don't know. That's ridiculous to me. Yo, thanks, Jack. I appreciate that. Speaking of the Majin Pleiades game, did you catch the judge downtick Majin's Tunic on turn 13? They downticked it? No, I did not see that. Okay. Anyway, I'm done. I'm done with fatigue and what you do. Whatever your intentions are when you play a game, however you play the end game, you are the person that has to live with that decision. If you hate fatigue so much you are willing to draw the game out, then I mean, I don't know. It is what it is. It is what it is. But I rarely to never go to time, so I'm not worried about it. Like if you want to sit across from me and try to be, hang on one second. Blaine, thank you so much for the sub on YouTube. I appreciate that. Guys, if you are here for the first time and you are new to the channel, we got 3 questions. We ask everybody, what's your name? What got you into Flesh and Blood? And what are your favorite hot dog toppings? You are correct, Michael. I am fatiguing myself talking in circles here. I think that's a deck choice for the tournament, though. Like, if you're playing a deck that can't kill in time unless you're fatigued, you as the pilot are making a decision to lose points in the day. See, this is such an interesting question. Because if you play at the speed I do, I will fatigue you with 10 minutes on the clock. That is the problem. And like that is where it's not that black and white for me. I might fatigue IRL. The Pleiades I played against in Atlanta went to time every round he played. Oh yeah, Drew, like I don't mean this as disrespect towards that player, but that was a prime example of someone who did not understand how to play fatigue at a high level. And I was watching them play. Like their game actions were not deliberate. They were not playing fast. Damien is a good example of someone who plays fatigue quickly. What do I think of Katsu post Florian LL? Post Florian LL, you're probably good into Gravy Bones. I imagine you have a decent Acilio matchup. You can probably race KO and Syndra. Syndra and Dio are probably tough matchups. Marionette's probably a tough matchup. Prism is probably a tough matchup if I had to guess. You probably have a good Fatigue at Ease matchup if I'm thinking. I don't know. Katsu could be pretty decent, right? Katsu could be pretty decent. All right. I'm done talking about fatigue. We're done talking about fatigue. I've shared my piece. You play the game how you want. It's your hobby. You spend your time on it. I would tell you that no matter what you are doing when you go to a tournament, I hope your intention is to sit down and have fun and play a game that you enjoy as your hobby with people that also have like-minded things. That's all I ask of our wonderful community. Go to events, play the game, have some fun, make some friends. That's what it's about. That's what it's all about. Okay. Gotta run to my armory, but the 3 questions. Blaine, weirdly, the round the table got me into Fab, and I stuck around because of the San Francisco Bay scene is so nice. Hot dog toppings is chilly. Well, let's go. Blaine, thanks for subbing. Thanks for being a part of the Flesh and Blood community, and I hope you do well at your armory, buddy. Okay. All right. Let's move on talking about the calling. So we talked about the day 1 meta, which was like, Arachne Marionette was our number 1 hero. Let's move on and talk about the day 2 conversion percentage. Hell, your boy might have been the only victor in day 2. Actually didn't know that until somebody told me that the other day. Marionette having the highest represented deck and then also having a 42% conversion percentage. Now look at this. Of the top ranked, of the top represented decks, Marionette has the second highest day 2 conversion percentage. 16, almost half. Acilio was the only deck that was higher. We're not counting Huntsman and Bolton because it was only 1 of 1 and a 1 of 2. Almost half of all people playing Mario made day 2. That's a crazy high number. This day 2 conversion percentage tells me that if you are going to an event, you need to be ready for Mario. Mario feels like the deck to beat. Florian just left. Be prepared for Mario. That's all I'm saying. Wrote down the wrong number. Okay. Moving on, talking about the rest of our things. Acilio, 43%. Absolutely great conversion percentage. Gravy Bones, 35%. Honestly, not bad. Fatiguities, having 33 or 38%. I mean, 3 of what? It's what, 3 of 8, I think is what it was. Syndra and Dio with a, like, what I would call relatively low percentage. Also not great. I don't know. Like, Syndra continues to be, like, fine, but not very impressive in this post-meta world, which I was a little surprised about. I figured Syndra would bounce back faster. Dash.io also continues to look like okay, but not great right now. I will say my boy Emma was 6-1 going into day 1 with Dio, and it kind of seems like the wheels fell off in day 2 for him. I think he finished X-5, was how his weekend finished. Yo, Danger Skeleton, thank you so much for the 2 months of Prime support over on Twitch. I appreciate a whole bunch. It means a lot. Thank you. Fang Gang, let's go. Simo, standing out. 9 Orb Weavers would go crazy. I mean, Fang with 33%, 4 Fangs in day 2. I think there was almost a Fang in top 8. If I remember correctly, Bird Cabrera was 9th. I think Bird bubbled at the event. So we need Mastery Pack Warrior. It doesn't feel like a real class. I mean, how did Kasai do? Was there any Kasai in day 2? Wow. 1 Kasai? 1 Kasai is crazy. What's 5%? 1 of 20? 1 of 20 is crazy. 1 of 20 is crazy. I play Acilio and Huntsman, so I love seeing this meta. Diego, that's funny. I was one of those senders. Yo, let's go. Benjamin, congrats, man. That Fealty and Bird's game, I yelled out an audible no. She had it in the bag. Was there a game that Bird had on camera? I haven't got to watch the whole calling yet. I'm gonna watch some of it tonight and some of it tomorrow. I haven't got to watch the whole thing yet though. With getting back and traveling and stuff. They just need to stop giving all the warrior cards to Assassin. Lol, rabble. That's hilarious. Yeah, Kasai crashed pretty hard. 5% is pretty bad. Bird made that mistake of not making Glint Draconic. As soon as I saw that, I cried for her. I was like, no, you had it, but I understand that's a lot of play. I mean, yeah, sure. She didn't pop Fealty for Glint the Quicksilver and lost all of her Fealty. Oh, wow. That's tough. That is tough. Man. That's one of those things that sticks with you for a minute. I mean, I've been there. We do it. Mastery Pack Assassin. I hope pigs fly first. The one of Vincent, we sat beside each other all day. I sat within like 1 to 3 like tables of the Vincent like all day. Oh, also, I almost forgot. Big hydrate for Josh. He did it a few minutes ago. My bad, Josh. New Armory deck this year? Please, God, no. Please don't. Okay, if they put new Armory deck out and it's ice, we're going to become an Arc Raiders channel. Like, Arc Raiders, I don't know. Well, I'll go back to Magic. I mean, no shot. Ice Assassin? Do you hear yourself? Ice Assassin. No shot. No shot. Anyway, so seeing the conversion percentage, again, is not this dominating picture, but it is also helpful at data and how prepared people were. I'm telling you, if it's Ice Assassin, I might actually cry. If they make an Ice Rune Blade, that would be so bad as well. Lightning Ninja? It's called Aurora, dog. It's called Aurora. I would probably actually play Ice Assassin. I mean, I actually think Ice Rune Blade would be worse than Ice Assassin. Like, dead ass. On God. Ice Rune Blade. Now that's why I play the class. God, I would like Ice Rune Blade. Ice Ranger. I mean, we already had an Ice Ranger. We could do Lexi again. Like, that would be fine. Rune Chants and Frostbites. If they made a Grasp of the Arknight for Frostbites, chat, we're cooked. My dream is we get a set with Pirate Assassin, Pirate Brute, and Pirate Wizard Illusionist. Okay. We don't need any more Wizard or Illusionist shit. Just let a Wizards and Illusionist just go away. All that darn paperwork. Wouldn't it be better if it all just blew away?
Oh, yeah. It's all coming together.
Isn't Ice Grasp Coronet Peak? No, I'm talking about actual Grasp of the Arknight that has ice on it. I would cry for Frostbites. Starvo Assassin? Wait, what? Wait. All right. We got to come back a little bit here. Ice Warrior with hatchets would be awesome. Ice Warrior would be cool. I actually do like that idea. I do like that idea. Wizard, Mystic Wizard would actually be kind of cool. I kind of get down with that. Mastery Pack Wizard. I think that Adult Blaze is coming out in Compendium of Wraith. I would like to see her. I would like to see Adult Blaze. Discard crayons for boss effect. Oh, that's so good. Discard crayons for Bond's effect is good. I like that. Best idea, unban Bonds and give us Ice New.
I'm in danger.
That sounds horrible. Horrible. That sounds awful. Y'all, like, guys, I mean, I get it. We all like what we like, but I mean, come on. Have some class. Jesus. Can I eat some of the crayons Chad is eating right now? Now, a new would be fine. GG's at Columbus. Was fun watching you on stream. Yo, Zovic, thank you so much. I appreciate that, buddy. It means a lot. I want to hold the game. I want to hold the game of fatigue with the stealth stuff. Wait, what? I'm so confused. Anyone who wants ice forgets what Lexi and Icelander did to people. Now, to be fair, Lexi and Icelander were crazy. Icelander would probably actually be fun in today's meta. Like, Icelander would, like, have just enough combo stuff to be annoying, I think. Yo, let's go, Bringe, with the 5-stream watch streak. Let's go. I appreciate that. Warlock would be cool. I mean, listen, I do like the idea. I do like the idea of getting ice back in the format. Maybe it's time to get Crown of Seeds with an instant 2 resource sink. Icelander would do nothing with Gravy. I think Icelander would be very medium in today's meta. But that's a whole nother conversation for another day. Let's take a look at top 8. Take a look at top 8. So if you watched the calling, you saw top 8. We had 2 Asilios, 2 Fatiguides. Those were the only repeat heroes. 1 Gravy Bones. Shout out to my boy Billy down in Knox Vegas. Congrats, Billy, on another calling top 8. We had a Katsu, Ao. Katsu fans rise up. I know Dylan's losing his mind in the chat. or at least I'm sure he lost his mind on Sunday when it happened. Michael Yasker playing Florian, your reigning world champion. My man took down worlds and a calling in 2 months. He's on a tear. He's on a tear. And your boy Lucas Oswald playing Mario from the Runaways. Now, I just want to take a moment to point out here. This top 8 names, freaking stacked. I'm going to read to you the list of people on this top 8 of like names that are like well-known names, at least in my opinion. Obviously, we have to start with Majin Bey. I mean, come on. It's Majin Bey. Like, how are we not going to start with Majin Bey? Next up, we have our current world champion, Michael Yassiger. From there, we have Lucas Oswald, Runaways, like big name in the space. Jeremy Chin, very well-known Acilio player in the Atlanta or Savannah area, I believe. Billy Pistol, top 8 at a couple callings before. We have seen him all over the place. He's also kind of local to me. I know that Nia Tran is a big Katsu player. Heard their name before. Never spoke to them. Don't really know them personally, but I've heard their name before. And then we got our boys, Damien and Thomas, representing Fatiguides. The list that they pioneered, by the way. Like, Fatiguides was built by Thomas and Damien. That is not a joke. There is nobody else to rip credit for that, at least in my opinion. Those are the people that have pioneered the deck. And to watch them both top 8 the same calling, cinema. Majin Bey gave me a masterclass in Wizard for free this tournament. I mean, honestly, though, Diego, real talk, though. Florian deck was actually crazy. Florian deck was insane. Tram won a Battle Harden in Blitz on Icelander and has 3 calling top 8s on Zen, Enigma, and now Katsu. That's probably where I recognize that name from. Is Ice healthier than Assassin to introduce control elements? One strips hand to Time Walk, the other one frostbites to Time Walk. I'd like to see another new try to control. Both are pretty harsh. I mean, that's fair. Yo, Kevin, we repped the shirt at the very beginning of the stream. Very beginning of the stream, we repped the shirt. Hang on. In case y'all missed it or you're not aware, the table pit on my shirt right here, call-in show every week with Kevin and Will. They have a live call-in show where you can call in and talk to them every week. Yo, Will's in the chat too. Let's go, dude. Let's go. Got wrecked by Michael Fung on Acilio day 2. Was fun. I mean, Michael's so cool, dude. Yo, I mean, dude, shout out to Kevin for hooking me up with the shirt. I was going to wear it Sunday, but I wanted to wear my Cat Pirate shirt because I really like my Cat Pirate shirt. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to rep this on the stream tonight. Illusionist is a different, but also a kind of control, I would say. I need something else to build, and I can't decide what to play. What are your options, Colby? Let's just get a talented hero, pick a class, and give them all of the talents. All of the talents sounds terrible. That sounds like Bringe. What? Come on now, that's crazy. I mean, Jarl is an ice hero, like Volt. Come on now. I mean, the best version of Jarl is Fatigue Jarl. And, like, it really struggles into Mario. It's why Jarl's fallen out of the meta so much. Yo, the spoiler's about to come out. I'm very excited to see that when it gets turned into Discord. We'll pull it up and talk about it. Was going to put Marlin together, but it's pretty wide open right now. Just trying to get exposed to new stuff. That's fair, Colby. I get that. I'm so excited for spoiler season. I'm so excited for you guys to see my spoiler. I cannot wait for you all to see my spoiler. I'm so excited. Adult Shiana would be cool. Spoilers started apparently 9 o'clock. Apparently not, like, here in like 2 minutes, we're getting our first spoiler. I think we're getting it from Max Ferocity, somebody said. I'm going to pull it up and show it to you guys. Anyway, Michael Yasker wins the calling. Like, beats Lucas Oswald in the finals. We got to watch absolutely like we got to watch 3 banger games. If you have not watched the top 8 of this event, you should. The Acilio and Fatiguides matchup, absolutely insane game. Michael Yassiger with the bells into Majin Bay. Again, like another amazing game. And then the Mario mirror or the Mario matchup and the Florian matchup was a banger in top 8. In the finals, absolute banger. I can't stop looking at my gold foil. Oh, dude, I know, right? I know, I get that. I'm very excited I have a gold foil Titan's Fist. I bought one from my boy Brandon, my teammate, Brendan. Just said Brendan, Lord. I think I'm going to get it graded in a player slab, then I'm going to play in my Victor deck until I die. My top 8 game against Yassiger was so close. Damien, I hate it wasn't streamed, to be honest. Leak my spoiler card? How about no? Brick. Congrats on a good run. I was watching out the whole time. Thanks, Nate. I appreciate that, dog. I appreciate that. Oh, before we look at a spoiler card, last thing we're going to talk about, we're going to look at spoilers, analyze some data, and we'll probably wrap up the stream right around 10 o'clock. There was a gentleman. Their name was Nate, I was told, and me talking to Nathaniel in chat made me think about it. They own a restaurant in Dayton. They are a fan of the Breakpoints podcast. They made carrot cake and drove down. One second. Alan Meckler, thank you so much for the sub over on YouTube. I appreciate you being here and hanging out. Guys, if you're here for the first time and you're new to the channel, we got those 3 questions we ask everybody. What's your name? What got you into Flesh and Blood? And what are your favorite hot dog toppings? Anyway, made this bomb-ass carrot cake and drove to Columbus. I don't even know how far Dayton is from Columbus. Drove it to Taylor and gave it to us as like a thank you. So, Nate, I did not get to hear what your restaurant is called. If you watch this, if you see this, thank you. I ate half of it, and then to make sure that I didn't die, I saved the other half of it and brought it home to Carly because Carly loves carrot cake. So, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Okay, we go. It's live. Where? I don't see it. It's not in the Discord. Should I post it on Twitter or something? Hang on. Okay, here we go. Wait, what happened? Where'd it go? No, come back! Shit. Hang on. Here we go. Is there no music? Oh, I have the music turned off so you guys can't hear it. Never mind. It probably makes sense. I don't want to lose my ad revenue. I probably shouldn't do that. Wait, what? Is this... What the hell is this? What did I just click on? It's in purple Discord? I never go to purple. Where? Official card reveals. The last time I was in purple Discord was to look at a reprint. Yo, is this it? Here we go. This is it right here. Zenith Blade. Hala specialization. Once per turn action, pay a resource and attack for 3. If this has been sharpened this turn, its first attack this turn gets go again. So it is a 1 for 3 with go again, and if it has been sharpened. Yo, I clicked on the wrong video. My bad, guys. My bad. When did we see Hala? Where is Hala at? Here we go. Pay 3. Sharpen target sword you control. Go again. Put a +1 counter on it. Remove all +1 counters from it. Okay, so you have to spend 4. So Zenith Blade, as of now, is a 2-card 4 with Go again. I guess technically it is a 2-card 7. So Zenith Blade with Hala is currently a 2-card 7 if you pitch a blue and a yellow. If you have the arm piece, Brave Forge Bracers, and it hits, it could be a 2-card 8. I mean, blocking 6 and having a 2-card 7 is technically 13. Oh, it gets a +1 counter, so it is a 2-card 8. It gets a counter the rest of the turn. So it's a 2-card 8, which means with Bracers, it could be a 2-card 9. So if your 2 other cards block 3, this could be a 4-card 15. Oh, wait, that's right. It's once per turn. That's Dory's effect that lets it attack twice. So this is like, I know there's more things coming and I'm hating early, but somebody said I'm so whelmed, and that's so accurate. I feel very whelmed right now. I mean, yeah, so if you add Twinning Blade to the mix, it's what? You have, if you add Twinning Blade to the mix, it is now a 3-card 8. I mean, there are cards coming. I'm trying to be optimistic right now, but I'm not going to lie. This is making it pretty tough, dog. Like, there's got to be multiple ways to stack counters on this thing, right? Gotta be ways to stack counters on this thing, right? This is better for Shiana? That's amazing. What if her ability is a fallback and all of her cards sharpen, like a 0-for-3 pump that sharpens? Okay, a 0-for-3 pump that sharpens could be good. Because then you could use like this and Tunic to be able to come in for like a 1-card 7. Now, that's hot. If you have a Sharpen Steel, which ironically would need to sharpen. So you have a Sharpen Steel that's a 0-for-3. Your 3-card play as Warrior could be 7 Go again with Zenith Blade into Command and Conquer. That's a 3-card 13. If you block 3, that is a 4-card 16. We're gonna give some space here. Obviously, it's cool that Max Ferocity got a spoiler. I think she gets a spoiler every set. I'm sorry. I know I can't remember. I can never remember her name. I call her the Dash Lady, which feels like insulting. I don't mean it that way. I don't know her, so I don't remember her name. But yeah, I don't know. My man said, I don't know, it says Warrior at the bottom. Yeah, let LSS cook. I mean, yeah, you know, like let's like let them cook though, you know? Let them cook. It's so good for Shiana though. I mean, that's true. Voffle, it is good for Shiana. Yeah, so it removes all the counters, which means it's a one, like you need to have cards that sharpen regularly. I don't know. Maybe her spec is like a reaction that says this turn you don't remove counters from the weapon. I bet her spec is a like aura that sits in play for like 1 to 2 turns or something, and it says you don't remove counters from weapons this turn, and so you're able to stack shit up maybe. I don't know. I don't know. I like, again, we're gonna give LSS the benefit of the doubt. We're gonna give LSS the benefit of the doubt when it comes to this. But I don't know. 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 Okay. The thing that we're going to do for the rest of the stream is we're going to take a look at some Fablazing data. So if you guys don't know what Fablazing is a website where you can find like matchup win percentage. You can build like tier list if you want. There are VODs on here where you can like go back and watch games that people have shared content for. It gives you information about heroes. It tells you cards that they're playing in their deck. It tells you what they're winning with, what they're losing with. But Blazing is amazing. If you have not seen it, you should check it out. You should check it out. But we're going to use Blazing tonight to be able to talk about Florian and what wins the most with Florian being gone. What wins the most with Florian being gone is what we're going to be talking about tonight. So Florian, right up here on the page right here. Interesting. I like that it describes it and tells it what it is. Do we have a matchup spread? Okay. All right, here we go. All right, so we're going to take a look at matchup spread to see what Florian does well into and what we think gets some points by Florian being gone. Actually, quite a few decks in the green here. Is this decks that Florian loses to? It looks like it. It looks like it. Interesting. Interesting. Beats Prism 54% of the time. Okay. Okay. Loses to Marlin. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I mean, there's a lot of green here, guys. There's a lot of green here. Mario and Dio are big winners. KO will probably rise to fight those two decently. I mean, that makes sense, Ethan. I get that. Stole my idea? Yo, what idea did I steal? Raise an army with Olympia, Armor, and Shiana, and the sword will be fun. Oh, for sure, Uno, for sure. So let's see. RKO had a rough Florian matchup. Interesting. I'm kind of surprised to hear that. So RKO gets better. RKO moving up in the meta makes a lot of sense. This is across how many games? It's basically what? It's 260 games. Okay. Huntsman? Okay. I mean, Huntsman getting better is interesting. Like the win percentage is very high going first or second. Doesn't really matter. I know that Ira had an absolutely cursed Florian matchup. So maybe Ira could get some stonks. What keeps Ira down currently? Ira's pretty decent into Gravy Bones. Ira has potential to race other aggro decks, I think. Being on like defense reactions and good disruption can go a long way for you. Ira. Interesting. Just Florian leaving? I mean, Ira probably just gets like, blasted straight back to the Stone Age against Acilio. Okay, so we're going to make a list of heroes that we should review based off of this leaving. And then we're going to come back and review them later. So the first one I'm going to add to my list is RKO. The next one we're going to add is Ira, because Florian leaving, we're going to compare and see what heroes gets better. Florian was beating up on Dory. Katsu. I think Katsu is another one to explore. I think Katsu is a good one to like kind of review and see like how they do. Buy Dory stocks. Oh, yeah? Can we see what Bolton is good against? Are you being serious or like are you trolling right now? I can't tell. If you're being serious, I mean, yeah, if we have time, we can probably look at the end of the stream or something. Pleiades, Jarl. Jarl has a bad Mario matchup. I'm not even going to check this out. Levia, I don't think Levia has a relevant enough position in the meta right now for this to really jump up a bunch. Ooh, Kasai is a good one. Kasai is a good one. I know Kasai just had a bad performance. I mean, don't get me wrong, like Levia could jump up, but I mean, I don't know. Riptide, Showstopper, like, I like Bravo, but I think there's just better Guardians to be playing right now. It's also only like 13 games because nobody plays Bravo. Slippy, we should check out Slippy, actually. I think that's an important one to see. I want to see how Slippy does into the rest of the field right now, because I think there's like could be something there. Puffin is Puffin's just going to struggle into fatigue decks, right? I think we should check out Vincent. I know that sounds crazy, but I'm going to write down Vincent because I think Vincent actually gets some stocks. We already know Mario's good. Max, Betsy, KO Armed and Dangerous. We kind of talked about that earlier. Lyeth was winning quite a few games here. I'm actually really curious to know how Prism looks. I know that kind of sounds a little weird. I do think Dio is on the list as well that we can look at. I think Dio's on there. I'm down to look at Valda. I don't know that Florian Leaves puts Valda in a good enough position. And then losing against all of these other things. Actually, you know what? I'm going to look at Fang as well. I know that Fang's winning into this matchup, but I just want to look at it and see. So let's go back to the classic constructed meta. All right, so what's up first? We have RKO Underhanded Cheat. KO Underhanded Cheat. Matchup spread. That's the one I'm looking for. Okay, so RKO does good into Prism, does well into Lyeth, good into Jarl. I don't know how I feel about that. Does well into Vincent. Again, that is... Wait, this is our online source. Let's look at paper and see how this changes things. I wonder where our paper reps come from. Yo, RKO having 61% into Verdance is actually pretty sweet. 62% into Fang. I mean, much more limited sample size, but like... 50% against this. Let's go back to online and kind of like look at some of our differences here. Favored matchup into Ira. We still have winning percentages. I'm like, okay, so RKO is 50% into Dio. I think that's pretty fair. It's probably hard to fatigue Dio. Going first makes a big difference. 51% against Acilio. Wow, I'm very surprised to see that. Good against 52% against Dory. What are we struggling into, I guess, is the question that we should figure out here. Yo, Richard Bird, thank you so much for the sub on YouTube. I appreciate you being here and hanging out. Guys, if you are here for the first time and you are new to the channel, we got 3 questions we ask everybody when they're new. What's your name? What got you into Flesh and Blood? And what are your favorite hot dog toppings? Those are the 3 questions we ask everybody. RKO struggles into Victor, Syndra, Kasai, Gravy Bones, Mario, Tough Nut. Tough Nut! Phi, Verdance, Teklovossin, Fang. Okay. KO, Armed and Dangerous. Interesting. So, how does RKO move up in this meta? We have a lot of 50-50s, and a lot of these green percentage matchups are really like, I mean, honestly, like a lot of these decks are just very like out of the box. And like a lot of these, like we have a lot of yellow We have a lot of yellow, and like a lot of our top decks are like down here in the red, I feel like. Marionette, Gravy Bones, Syndra still performing well. Verdance at a lower than like 50%. Fang at lower than 50%. Armed and Dangerous lower than 50%. Is it kind of weird that RKO maybe moves down instead of going up in this meta? Interesting. I'm going to put a down arrow next to RKO on my little notepad here. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what the initial data is telling me. Next up, we have Ira. God, it might take us forever to find Ira on here. Here we go. Matchup spread. Not a lot of green on here. Good into Tough Nut, good into Gravy. As far as like meta decks are concerned, good into Dio, apparently. Interesting. I would have assumed Dio just blew this matchup up. Favorite into Acilio. What do we have down here? Gets dumpstered by Kasai. Dumpstered by Fang. Armed and Dangerous. Huntsman. Verdance. Mario. Okay, so Ira just continues to be tough. We're going to give that one a double down arrow because I don't think that's good. Yo, what's up, Rob? How are you, buddy? But I do think the collective RKO players in a room at a calling still doesn't convert. Lots of people don't understand how to maneuver the matchups. That's fair. All right, so yeah, like Trollin said, like Ira's just not a real deck, which is fine. Like it is what it is. Next up is Katsu. On the list of heroes that we're going to take a look at and try to figure out here a little bit, see if we can find out some meta placement. Katsu. I was like, you got to be above this stuff. Come on now, dog. Okay, so what are we losing against? Let's start there. We're losing, okay, a lot of these. Okay, so Kasai, Huntsman, Verdance, Mario, Fang. RKO. Things above 50%. Dio. Slippy. Syndra. Gravy Bones. Acilio. Okay, so like, I don't know. I'm going to give Katsu like a little like line right now. Because like a little sideways line. Because I actually think Katsu might like have a relatively random spot in the meta. Like you have some bad matchups for sure, but you have more green and like more like yellow than anything. And I think that's a good place to be. What's next? We have Kasai up next. Is Kasai on our first page? Yeah, I would assume Kasai's on the first page. Let's see. Said Kasai has an overall win rate of 53%. All right, what does Kasai do poorly into? Bad into Fang, okay. Bad into Acilio. Bad into Mario. Unfavored into Verdance. Starts to become favored into Syndra. Favored into Victor, which is like not a super popular deck, but it's popular enough. Good into Dio. I'm a little surprised to see that, to be honest. Let's see. It says favored into Pleiades, but I don't know how much fatigue Pleiades that is, or random Pleiades. It is favored into Armed and Dangerous and Underhanded Cheat. It's favored into... Where was Gravy Bones at? It's favored into Gravy Bones? I mean... I don't know. It sounds kind of weird, but like it feels like Kasai is like... Even though there's a lot of green on here, there is a lot of like... quote-unquote irrelevant green on here, if that makes any sense. I don't know. Like, this is interesting, right? Like, this is really interesting to like see, because there are like, I don't know, like Fang, Acilio, Mario, Verdance, all below 50%. Now, Verdance right in there, but like a lot of these, like, you know, like Mario being the best deck, being favored into Gravy Bones, like it kind of feels like you're showing up to try and beat up on Gravy Bones. But even then, like Gravy Bones is like 60%. Or I'm sorry, 60%. Like, you guys may not like this, but I'm gonna give Kasai a downvote. You guys may not like that, but I think Kasai gets a downvote. Slippy. There you are. Slippy's currently at 46%. All of our green matchups are decks you're not seeing a lot of right now. Yeah. Oh, boy. Slippy is 1-8 against Olympia. Okay, we're going to unpack that later. There is a hero switcher at the top of the page. Oh! Thank you. Appreciate that note. Appreciate that. What's up, Cusco? Had to hit you with the circle, man? Oh, dude, Rob. It's all good, brother. All right, let's see. Did not realize there was a hero switcher. Thank you for pointing that out. Let's see. Loses to Mario, which makes sense. You both get the same hero power. Loses to Huntsman. Loses to Fang. Loses to Kasai. Loses to Katsu. Slightly unfavored into Dio, Syndra, Acilio, Prism. I mean, what are we looking to pick on with this deck? All of our green matchups are like off meta hero picks. Yeah, no, Slippy. I think Slippy gets a double down vote. I don't know. Like, even though like Florian is like way down here at the bottom, I still don't think we're gonna put that on here. All right, what's next? Vincent. This is one I'm actually very excited to look at. By the way, we're gonna end with Victor. Because I love Victor. Total win rate 48%. Beating up on Prism. Beating up on Slippy. Beating up on KO, Armed and Dangerous. Favored into Fang. Favored into Mario. Favored into Huntsman. Unfavored into Kasai. Unfavored into Syndra. Unfavored into Acilio. It really goes downhill with Dash. Gravy Bones at the bottom is your biggest problem. Okay, so I think this one needs a little bit more time here. I think this is like we need some more time on this one, right? So even though this is at the bottom and like Gravy Bones is by far your worst matchup, it appears to be, there is a lot of things at 50% or better that I think stand out. Like Huntsman, Mario, Fang, Armed and Dangerous. I mean, like Prism being up here. Like, I know that's really like a skill check matchup on both sides more than anything. But there's quite a few matchups up here towards the top. Now, your real problem with playing a deck like Vincent is a deck like Vincent is looking to target something like Fatiguides, but I just like, I don't know. Like, this is Vincent is a deck that loses to Goober decks, as Taylor likes to say. Vincent is a deck that loses to Goober decks, which means she loses to stuff like Victor. And that's a problem. Paper. Let's see what our paper results look like. 80% into Pleiades, high into Prism, high into Syndra, high into Armed and Dangerous, high into Acilio, still favored but not great into Fang, 50-50 into Mario, still unfavored into Kasai, Dio, and then where was Gravy Bones? Gravy Bones still at the bottom. So, like, again, even when we swap sources, I still feel like we are looking at like a, I don't know, like I'm going to give Vincent a little bit of an uptick here. I'm going to give Vincent an up arrow here, and I'm going to tell you why. Because even though she is a deck that loses to herself, She is a deck that is very, very rewarded for being a high-level pilot of Vincent. And if the Fatiguities deck is something that is popping up, then I think then I think Vincent could like actually be a really good combatant to this meta. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I'm coping, but I'm going to give Vincent like a small uptick here. Is Reinar double checkup? That's funny. Let's take a look at Prism. Prism is another one that I want to look at. Overall matchup win spread 48%. All right. What are our worst heroes with Prism? Okay. RKO, Armed and Dangerous, all makes sense. Victor, Dio, that's a little surprising to see that low. Kasai being so low is also surprising. Florian's about to leave. That was a close one. Fatiguities is really tough. Let's see. Syndra being a very close matchup makes a lot of sense. Acilio being really close makes a lot of sense. We start to become favored. A Marionette's really like very close. Favored into Fang. Favored into Huntsman, apparently. Favored into Gravy Bones. Favored into some Goober decks. But really some tough matchups right now. So I actually think that Prism's in a spot where I'm going to give her like a little like sideways slash. And the idea behind that is that if you are a Prism stan, I would say continue playing Prism. But if you're not, this might not be a meta for Prism. Let's see what our paper looks like. Yo, Kano. Okay. We are 4-1 against Showstopper in person. Interesting. Bad KO matchup. Another bad Dio matchup. I'm still just very surprised by this. 50-50 Marionette, 50-50 Syndra, very close to 50-50 on Slippy, 50-50 RKO, 50-50 Acilio, favored in Verdance, favored in Huntsman, favored in Gravy Bones. I mean, again, like I'm gonna stick with Prism is for Prism stands right now, and that's where we should be. I think that's just where like we have. I don't know. Interesting. Hey, Bill, what's up? Wish you got more stream games in Columbus. Thank you, Bill. I appreciate that. I'm very happy with the one we got, but I appreciate that. Josh, I know you tell me I'm crazy all the time. All right, let's look at Dio. Dash.io. Let's see what our Dio. 52% win rate. We are losing into Victor. I mean, that shit checks out. Losing into a lot of the Goober decks that block well. Losing to Katsu. Losing to Dory. Losing to Marionette, but very close. Losing to Mario, but very close to 50-50. Florian goes away. We are favored into Syndra. Favored into Marlin is surprising to me. Favored into Reinar, Gravy Bones, KO, Fang, Acilio, Prism. We might be looking at a Dio meta. Let's look at the paper results. We might be looking at a Dio meta. 0-1 against Betsy. Paper. Crazy. Bad against Victor. Very bad against Katsu here in paper. Interesting. Unfavored into Kasai. I still just am not following that. I just feel like this is a good Kasai matchup. Data tells a different story though. Huntsman. Unfavored into Reinar in person. Interesting. Unfavored into Verdance. Slightly. Favored into Mario in paper. Okay. Favored into Gravy Bones. Favored into Syndra. KO, Prism, Acilio, Fang. Yeah, I think Dio gets a double uptick. Like that just Dio feels like a double uptick kind of deck. Somebody asked for Volda. Let's take a look at Volda. I mean, we're big chillin'. Like, we might as well take a look at Volda and see what it looks like. I think that I don't know that Volda is like the best deck in the world right now. 38%. Not great. Let's look at online first, and then we'll go from there. Your bad matchups, Florian's leaving. Bad matchup is Tough Nut. A little surprised to see that, but it makes sense. A lot of toughness tokens. Bad into Fang, bad into Kasai, bad into Mario, bad into RKO. Let's see. We get favored with Prism, Gravy Bones. I don't know if this is Fatiguides or not. It could be. I don't know. The Dominate's probably really good into Fatiguides. Favored into Victor. I agree. That makes a lot of sense. Favored into... Wow, is Volda, like, actually looking, like, pretty sweet? How it... Like, Volda's 54% total online. Wow. Are Volda stonks up? Are Volda stonks up right now? I'm just kind of like surprised to see this. Oh, we could look at Puffin too, actually. I like the idea of looking at Puffin. I'm on the Puffin cope, but I'm meant to look at Puffin. Yo, Volda stonks right now. She's still bad into the 4 best decks. Verdance, Fang, Kasai, Mario. I mean, she does have a lot of decks like 1, 2, 3, 4. We do think Kasai's going down. So, I mean, there are 3 decks down here that are not great. I mean, 56% into Gravy Bones is pretty good. There are a lot of goober decks up here in the green, but there's also a lot of good decks. Favored into Acilio? We got to look at some paper reps to see if this is still true. Let's see. 2 and 17 into Verdance is really bad. 2 and 7 into Kasai. 5 and 15 into Mario. 9. Okay, never mind. Never mind. We're starting to see like the online reps versus the paper reps are a little different. Prism is even a losing matchup? Wow. That's surprising. This is favored in a Dio. Armed and Dangerous. Man, I'm at least 2 of these games, I think, which is big Sag. So yeah, we're going to give Volda a down tick. We're just going to give her 1, though, because, I mean, you could probably have a decent run at a tournament with Volda if you really wanted to play it. Fang is up next on our list. This is one I'm very interested to see. We are going to look at online first to see what that looks like. Let's look at our bad matchups first. Acilio. So we just get blasted by Acilio. We get blasted by Dash. We get blasted by Prism. We get blasted by Mario. Verdance. I mean, holy shit. What are we playing this deck to beat? We win against Huntsman. We did have a good Florian matchup. So Florian leaving actually makes Fang a little worse, probably. So does Fang just get worse now that Florian left the meta? Favored into Gravy Bones is good. Favored into Kasai is good. Yeah, I mean, we're going to look at the paper settings, but I think like Fang just gets worse. Let's see. Not good into Dio. Not good into Acilio, Prism, Mario, Syndra, RKO, Verdance. Yeah. I think Fang is actually a double down tick deck. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but like this does not feel like this does not feel like for Florian leaving benefited Fang. Puffin, and then we're gonna look at Victor. Just because I'm still on my Victor cope. Puffin. Auto parts. Puffin, bad into Huntsman, bad into Victor, bad into Acilio, bad into Dory, bad into Verdance, Mario, Dio, Fatiguides, Fang. I don't know. This does not look good. There's a lot of red here. Most of our greens are goober decks. Like Prism is on there. Yeah, man. I mean, let's look at the paper data. Paper data is always a little bit different. We should at least look at it. But Fatigues, Huntsman, Bad into Jarl is crazy. It's not good. It's not good if we're bad into Jarl. Bad into Verdance. Bad into Sleepy, for God's sakes. What? Sai, Mario, Victor. Yeah, no, like, I think Puffin gets a double down tick right now. I think Puffin gets a double down tick based on the data. And then we're going to indulge my cope. Let's look at online first. All right, what are we losing to? Teklovossen. That checks out. Armed and Dangerous. This win percentage seems accurate. Gravy Bones. Verdance. Valda. I don't agree with this. I'm very intrigued by this. Reinar checks out. Cilio checks out. Don't agree with the Bolton percentage. It's pretty close to 50-50. Kasai checks out. Mario checks out. Should be slightly favored in my opinion, but checks out. Fang, that checks out. Huntsman, I think, is a little bit more than 55%. Let's see. Vincent, that checks out. I do not think the Marlin number is accurate. Syndra checks out. Prism checks out. RKO, Dio. I mean, the problem with Victor right now. The problem with Victor is this. Like, this and solely this. Plus, like, when you add in these two, it doesn't help anything. Like, I think this is your biggest problem. I don't know. Like, I'm just this is not a great look for us. But there are a lot of like decks that we do pick on in the meta. We have good matchups into a lot of the field, but the problem is that a lot of the good decks are tough matchups for us. Let's look at paper. Okay, paper. 0% in Teklo. Yeah, Kano makes sense. Verdance. Yeah, again, all three of them. Acilio, Gravy, Verdance. That checks out. Fang, I think this is lower than it should be. Armed and Dangerous is right under 50%. I think it's like close to like 40, 60 in their favor. Kasai at 50%. Mario slightly favored. Prism is more favored than this, I think, but that's just me. Syndra being good. RKO being about 60-40 is fair. Dio being favored. Huntsman, yeah, see, these numbers start to check out more. Dorinthia being like heavy favored. I mean, like, a lot of these things check out. Like, I mean, I think I would put Victor in the same place that I would put like Katsu or Prism. That I don't think they're necessarily getting major stonks from Florian leaving because of the other things that shift around. But I do think that if you are a dedicated Victor player, like, I think it's fine to play Victor at events. Like, I don't know. Like, I am a Victor diehard. You guys know that through and through. I always will be. But I am a believer that, like, you know, it's probably not a meta to pick up Victor and try to you know, jam the cog into the wheel here. I don't know. Did we look at Mario? Did I even have Mario on here? No, we knew Mario was good. I'm actually just going to look at Mario spread really quick while we're here. Feels like it's at least worth it. Matchup spread, online, win rate. Look at all that green. Look at all that green. What are we losing to? Azuri, this left. Slightly unfavored to Gravy. Slightly unfavored to Verdance. I mean, yeah. Like, that checks out. Gravy Bones. Yeah, I mean, I think this checks out. Like, this is probably the best deck for next week of RTN season, to be honest. Can we look at Rhinar Max Cope? All right, we'll look at Rhinar, and then we're gonna wrap up the stream, I think. But yeah, I think Mario is like the best week 4 pick, to be honest. Rhinar, we struggle into Kasai, Valda, Katsu, Vincent, Dio, KO, Marionette. Dio and Marionette being on here scares me. A lot of yellow matchups. Unfavored Gravy Bones. What are we like? What's all our green? Betsy, Olympia, Pleiades, Lyeth, Toughnut, Bravo, Phi, Teklovossen, Riptide, Max, Bolton. We get all the way down to Acilio before I say a real deck. Prism, Victor, Jarl, Levia. I mean, my bad. My bad. Jarl better than Victor? Ooh, interesting, Holland. I don't know that I agree with that. What version of Jarl? What variation of Jarl? I'd be curious to see the list. I don't know that I agree with that, but I'd be curious to see the list. Let's see. Again, all of our winning decks are like, we get down to like Acilio here. Like, we're like what? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is the 7th one down. Like, I mean, I don't know. Like, Rhinar is probably a coat pick. It's probably in that. I think Rhinar is probably slightly worse than where I would place like Prism, where like Prism is like, if you're a Prism stand, play it. I don't think Rhinar is quite at that place yet. So just play Rhinar if you hate Guardian. I mean, pretty much, yeah. Victors are losing from it since there were probably more KO and Verdance. Florian's jumping over to Verdance because of the Earth double dipping, and KO is just stronger now. I mean, but if Verdance, like, I mean, I guess, yeah. I guess KO gets better with Florian leaving. I could see KO getting better. All right, I lied. We're going to look at KO Armed and Dangerous, and then I'm going to cut the stream off. Bad matchups. Valda, Kasai, Gravy Bones, Dio, Mario. Are we sure about this? Mario, Dio, Gravy, all being unfavored matchups is not good. Let's see if we still have those same percentages. Verdance being unfavored, Gravy being unfavored, Dio, all sub 40%, by the way, guys. Marionette, 41%. Yeah, I don't know. I think KO being good might be cope. Like, I think KO being good might be cope. Hey, man, if you love your hero, play it. You're talking to the guy who plays Victor all the time. Like, I get it. You love your hero, play your hero. Guys, thank you so much for hanging out and being here tonight. I appreciate you guys chilling while we do our Columbus story time. If you missed anything, make sure you go back and listen to it. Columbus was a great time. We finished 24th. We're going to try and improve on it. We got Prism at an RTN this weekend, so tomorrow night I will be playing Prism. We'll be streaming that, looking to get some better games in. Make sure you check out For Blazing. If you're interested in, the Victor metafy, make sure you check that out. ! Metafy. But if nothing else, I will be streaming tomorrow night. We'll be playing Prism and getting ready for this weekend. And then also Damien's got his Fatiguity stream tomorrow night. I assume around 9 o'clock Eastern time. So anyway, thanks for hanging out. Have a good night, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Take it easy, guys. Full access to roast me. You have another like 60